And good late afternoon, evening, or whatever it is. We are back for some Mariners baseball. It is Friday night, and the Mariners are currently leading the AL West division against the Texas Rangers. And now they are back in Houston to go up against their other heated rival, the Houston Astros. And Steve, must I ask, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm always good, man. There's never a day where I'm not. I think you hit it right on the head. This is actually, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a pivotal series, but that being said, it's another opportunity to put a little bit more distance between you and a division rival. The Mariners are coming off a season where they actually did fairly well against the Houston Astros, both home and away. And so it'd be nice to see that continuing a trend, especially on Star Wars night down there at the at Houston's ballpark.
It's Star Wars night.
Yeah, I think I saw Yoda.
If I knew that, then I would have done like some Star Wars opening crawl parody.
Well, I don't know. I like your opening. I think you should. I'm a big fan of your opening. But that being said, though, it's going to be a big series, especially considering the Mariners are coming off 5 straight series wins. The latest coming off the Atlanta Braves, and in which they took 2 out of 3. Should have been a sweep, but it is what it is. Still a very good showing, and now it's an opportunity to continue this winning trend. I like this matchup for the Mariners, just off the fact that right now Houston's bullpen is an absolute train wreck. There's a situation right now where they got 7 blown saves. They've given up 14 long balls. So if the Mariners can get past Ronel Blanco, 5th, 6th inning, and get to that Houston bullpen, only good things are going to be able to happen from that point. So it's going to be an issue of they're going to have to be aggressive early. But that being said, if they can also be patient and maybe draw some walks, because Blanco does give up some walks, maybe the Mariners can put together an early lead and give take a little pressure off George Kirby tonight.
And yeah, I'm taking a look at the bullpen. Mariners are now 3rd in the league in bullpen. And don't forget that is without Brash, who is out indefinitely, and Gregory Santos, which is incredible. But as for the Astros, they are 23rd in the league in the bullpen. Pretty sure they were much worse than that, but they've got a long ways to go. And look at Oakland. They are 2nd in the bullpen.
Yeah. I think Houston's got a bullpen ERA of like 4.06 something along those lines. So they're in a
4.64.
4.64. I stand corrected. So yeah, it was 4 something. But that being said, right now, that's even with their big free agent signing at the back end of that bullpen. All I will say is, this is going to be a situation where if the Mariners can get on the front foot and get a couple runs early, all it's going to do is be able to get into that Astros bullpen. I think this is going to be a very good game. But that being said, it's all about which Mariner offense is going to show up.
Yeah, we want to make sure it's the good one, because as much as the pitching has been struggling for the Mariners or for the Astros, there is also a possibility where the Mariners, they can make a terrible pitching team look like a bunch of team of Cy Youngs, or look like the Mariners starting rotation themselves.
Yeah. It's important to know that the Mariner offense right now ranks 22nd in WRC plus, 25th in total runs scored. They are 1st in K percentage with a 28.5 K percentage. They are 1st in total team strikeouts with 300. But they also have the 9th best walk percentage. So regardless, yes, you don't like to see the strikeouts that high, but that being said, they're also drawing walks as well too. So, at least that's a little bit palatable to deal with. But again, it's all about timely hits, and it's all about taking advantage of what Houston's going to give you. And if you can do that, the Mariners have a good chance of not only winning the series, but also potentially sweeping.
Yeah, and despite all those offensive troubles, the craziest part of this whole thing is Mariners are leading the division, and that is over Texas. Yep. It's only a half game.
Yep. It's only a half game.
Mariners have an opportunity if Houston still has that struggling trend. This is an opportunity to at least win the series. And personally, my prediction, I expect it to be 2 out of 3 based on the rivalry, because things happen in rival. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised for 1 and 3. And I know that sounds like Debbie Downer mindset.
No, not at all. Not at all, because this is the Houston Astros. This is a team that historically has dominated the Mariners in Seattle and in Houston. Yes, they had a very good showing again of it last year, but it's still the Houston Astros, the same team that's been to, I think, 7 straight league championship series. So this team knows how to win. And I understand where they're at in the standings now, but that's not going to be where they are at the end of the year. This is still a team that can beat you if you're not careful.
It is 7. Yep, that is absolutely correct. And now let's take a look at the key stats. Astros are 11 and 20. They're third in the major league in offense of 264, but their team ERA is 27. So that's going to be the biggest key is, will the offense actually step up? And they strike out a lot too.
Yes, they do. But they also, and I think they're 29th in walk rate as well too. So that is going to play a very big, it's going to play a significant role. Speaking of which, Ronel Blanco, tonight's starter for the Astros, does give up about 3 walks, anywhere between 2 to 4 walks per start. The last 2 starts that he's had against the Nationals, Rockies, of course, it's the Nationals and Rockies. He's basically gone 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, and anywhere between 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. So you can get the walks against him, and you can make him work. So, this is going to be a tough matchup. But that being said, it's not exactly impossible.
Not exactly. And let's take a look at the injury report. We've got Brian Wu, whose estimate ETA is now May 8th. I guess it got bumped up all of a sudden. I guess he's still doing that rehab. Edward Bizardo is May 10th. JP Crawford's now May 17th. Gregory Santos, May 26th. I don't even know if that's even credible anymore. And now they're saying Matt Brash is June 1st, which I don't buy that at all, considering that they said he was out indefinitely. But if he's back June 1st and that's true, then that would be very exciting.
Well, I think it's now. I don't know if you've heard anything, because I haven't seen anything yet. I know that he was scheduled to see an orthopedist. Now, there is no structural damage. The problem with him is he's having trouble recover after throwing, right? So it's the way that I look at this is he's still suffering from dead arm. That's why they're shutting him down. And so, it's tentative to be in early June. Obviously, that's going to depend on Brash. But the thing to remember here, there's no structural damage, there's no ligament tears or anything like that. It's literally just that arm needs to be rested because of last year's overuse. So, I would probably take it with a grain of salt. But the good news is we're in the month of May, and we're gonna get a couple key contributors back at certain points of this month. I would probably think that the Santos return date could be legit, considering we haven't heard anything to the contrary. You know what I mean? We haven't heard any reports for the good or the bad. So maybe that might seem a little legit.
Yeah, let's hope so. Fingers crossed, because having those 2 guys would be spectacular, because we would like to see some relief out of just the alleviation for Andres Munoz and Ryan Stanek, because they do see a lot of action. And now let's take a look. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, at least they got Spire back there as well too.
They do. And now the starting lineups as this game's about to start. Josh Rojas leading off, and I do think that he should be matchup proof in my opinion, because he does have the hot hand right now. Julio Rodriguez number 2, Polanco number 3. I wonder when Service will actually flip those 2. Just do it for 1 game. I just ask for 1 game for now.
Just once. Yeah.
Just one. Sure. Mitch Haniger is the 4th guy. Then Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. Ty France, 253, has been having a very weird season. Mitch Garver, Luke Raley, and Dylan Moore, who at shortstop, who has filled in decent for JP Crawford.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I like is the Garver's now at the 7th spot, which is the one thing you can't do is you can't keep playing him in the top 5 of the lineup just because he hasn't been able to do anything with it. So that's kind of nice. He's protected a little bit by Luke Raley, but you mentioned Ty France. He is kind of having a little bit of a weird season, but when you look at his batted ball data, it shows that he's really making a lot of good solid contact. So I like the fact that Cal is batting sixth tonight behind Cal Raleigh. I don't know. I actually kind of like tonight's lineup.
It's we'll have to see. And William, one of our beloved members, Rojas is getting it done. Yeah, roll with the hot guy. He should be playing at least more than maybe a little bit more of an everyday guy. And yes, hello. And looks like we are about to start.
Yep.
And this first pitch will be brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, use that promo code Rooftop Sports. And now here is the very first pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike one, and we are underway here in Houston, Texas. And the one thing I noticed I saw in the defensive side of the Astros is Jordan's not playing. Here's the 0-1. Here's a ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit. And we got Rojas here at first base, and we got Julio up to bat. But yes, I saw that Jordan Alvarez will not be playing, so that will be another opportunity for the Mariners today.
And it was interesting that Blanco started him off with a high fastball and came right back with the fastball inside. He deposited it in right field, and that might be good for the Mariners considering he throws that fastball at least 39% of the time. So you might get a couple pitches to drive tonight.
And Julio Rodriguez takes one for a strike. I like that he did not swing at that one because it's that deadly up and corner that. Yep. I mean, for someone that plays softball, I can understand because I pitched in that zone all the time.
Right, and of course, this is the tried and true way of pitching to Julio Rodriguez. It is popped up to left field. That is easily playable.
Yep. He's there. He makes the catch, and we got one down, and Rojas has to stay.
And again, fastball up, on the hands, doesn't get extended, easy fly ball.
And now we got Jorge Polanco up to bat. He is batting third. He's now batting 181. Would like to see that go up. At least, put him at number 2 and Julio at number 3. Just one game service. Just one game.
It's not going to kill you. Scotty. Get off your wallet, Scotty.
Do it when you're, quote, throwing the game on the third game after winning 2 in a row. Here's the pitch. And that is a ball.
Oh, yeah. You got pushback on that too, didn't you?
At least they were people that follow me and at least do we have that agree to disagree thing. So we'll give each other crap, but we'll be adults. Here's the 1-0. And that is a ball.
I don't care what anybody says. When I see Zebi Savala in the lineup, that's a punt day.
It is a punt day.
And I don't care if he's got multi-hit games. He's got 2. Great. Who cares? When he's in the lineup, it's a punt.
And then we got a 2-0 count. And now here's the pitch. And that is a strike. And when Rojas is not playing, I'm also convinced that's a punt.
Sure. Well, but that's the weird thing is, Urias is, I don't know.
Not bad.
He's not bad. I think he's actually pretty steady. So.
And now Polanco is looking at a 2-1. Here's the pitch. And that is a foul ball. That was a good pitch for him to swing. It just got under it.
Yeah. And that's usually his pitch, isn't it? Right down in the zone where he can actually get that bat through the contact zone. He usually, the home runs that he's hit this year, it's been on those pitches lower in the zone right there.
2-2 count for Polanco. He's really got to get something going for Josh Rojas, who's on first base. Correct. And now here's the pitch by Blanco. And that is strike 3 called. No surprise. Polanco's acting surprised, but on our end, we're not surprised.
No.
And now that was right there. And now we got one down.
And you got it. And that's the thing. It's like he's probably looking fastball right there in that situation. Then he gets a little off speed right at the top of the zone right there. And it's like,
he must have been more frustrated that he just didn't swing at it. It was like a more realizing thing. And now here we've got Mitch Haniger. Here's the pitch. That is outside for a ball. I was hoping the Mariners would have gotten Joey Bart when he was DFA'd by the Giants to be our backup instead of Savala. He got DFA'd instead of Tom Murphy? Hey, if Tom Murphy gets DFA'd, that's like Mariners jump at it now.
Yeah, that seems like it's a no-brainer, right?
Heck, even try to make a cheap trade because his value must be down, but the Giants would know that. So they could So they would have been able to leverage against them anyway.
I think it's important to remember that Zebby has already been DFA'd 4 times in his career, and that's why we traded for Blake Hunt. That was the intended goal. That if he didn't get off to a good start, that's why we got Blake Hunt. But
I looked at Blake Hunt. I'm like, meh.
Sure. Yes.
He's meh.
He's so far. It's in the
2-1 count to Haniger. 3-1. He's working on a 3-1.
Oh yeah.
Maybe an opportunity to walk. Because who's on deck? Away. It is going to be Cal Raleigh, so I would be okay with a walk.
Yeah, but right now Cal is struggling.
True.
He really is.
He's been struggling since that tooth appointment. Here's the 3-1, and he let that in there. That's going to be a 3-2 for Mitch Haniger.
Yep, dropped a little change right there on the inside corner. So now you're 3-2, and I would probably suspect with 2 outs, you're probably going to see a fastball right here.
And here is going to be the pitch, the 3-2. And no, not a check swing. Did he go? He did not, and that's going to be a walk for Mitch Haniger. Now we got men on first and second for Cal Raleigh. But Cal Raleigh, like you said, he has been struggling. He's now down to 217. I swear he was like at 260 just a week ago.
And I think right now he's like 1 for his last 16. At one stretch he was 0 for 14. But this is kind of a big situation right here with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. You would like to see, a solid base hit to pick up Rojas. Don't
anything.
Don't put yourself in a situation where you got to swing from the heels.
And he takes that first pitch, and that's going to be a strike for Cal Raleigh.
Yep, fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Last 7 games, 1 for 22 with 13 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
Now I'm starting to think they really should have just rested Cal on that game. Here's the pitch, and he gets jammed up, and that's going to be popped up, and this will probably end the inning. Yep. Pena's there. He makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the first. It is still, it is scoreless, so
it's still 0-0.
SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RooftopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. Yep, use that promo code Rooftop Sports for $20 off if you are planning to watch the Oakland game, which is not the Oakland game, whichever is next week's games.
Just remember to get off your wallet. That's about all I can say, right? I mean, literally in the crazy ticket game right now with prices and seat taxes and licenses, to get a full $20 off it's nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at. And also, with the commercial still going on, I thought I'd just let everyone know. Some of you may have noticed that, well, other than the fact that I was out of town, and I remember I said on Monday I was going to slow down on like the daily post-game shows. That is still true. The only reason I did it was because Mitch Garver hit a home run. That was it.
Right.
So I'm only going to make like post-game shows if something big happened. If it was like a boring game where they lost by like 3 and nothing was really happening, I'm not going to make a video on that. So what I'll do is I'm going to do more YouTube short style where I'll be like, hey, here's a 45-second post game. But I won't do because I don't want to post too many videos. And I have a lot of cool edited videos that are on the way too. So I don't want to get those neglected. I don't want those to get like all buried up and by a video that only has 10 views, especially with my new Sonics video that is released.
All right. Oh, by the way, the next homestand is going to be 3 against Oakland, 3 against KC. And Jordan is in the lineup tonight, batting third, the DH.
Oh, Jordan is playing. Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that Jordan part. Here's the pitch, and that's foul. And that's Jose Altuve. I guess they're not putting him in outfield anymore. Well, at least for today.
Yeah, he's DHing today. So, and of course he starts off with a swing and strike. So now 0-1. I'd like to see George, piggyback off his last start, which was probably one of the best starts of the year so far.
It was that twice 12 strikeout performance.
Yeah, for sure.
And that
where
was
where he went 7, striking out 12, no runs, 2 hits. Yeah,
1-1. Here's a ground ball right to Rojas. He bobbles the ball and the throw to first, and he still got him in time.
Way to stay with the play right there, because
I thought he was going to eat it.
Yeah, that because typically you would see that, right, where you have a bobble like that, but he stays with it and puts a strong throw on it and barely gets Altuve. But that being said, this isn't Altuve from 6 years ago. This is a mid-30s Altuve now, so slow down a little bit.
The 2,000 hits, and we were fortunate that the Mariners got him out on that play. Kyle Tucker's batting second.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a ball. Yordan Alvarez is on deck. My favorite player of the Houston Astros. I know I shouldn't say that, but he is. The 1-0 pitch. And that is a strike.
Yeah. Kyle Tucker right now with a 600 X slugging. Average exit velocity of 91.5. This dude still has it. And you can't be too fine with Kyle.
He really can't.
He will take you deep.
And it's a 1-2. He has 13 multi-hit games this season, so he still looks like he's having a really good start this season once again.
Yep.
George Kirby, 6 pitches in. Kyle Tucker is a very high WRC plus this season.
Yeah.
Here is the 1-2.
Yes.
And that is fouled.
A WRC plus of 174, you think?
Yeah, I kind of run fairly that one. Yeah, he has a very high 174 RP. That is really high for the standards.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
And now we're looking at the 1-2 for George Kirby. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down he goes. And now my most favorite player on the Astros is coming up to bat. Yordan Alvarez, the man who made me say this was the straw that broke the camel's back on Scott Service with that Robbie Ray decision. And also, I've just provided a link where the video is about Yordan Alvarez. The title is How the Seattle Mariners Got Yordan Alvarez to the Astros.
6 degrees of Yordan Alvarez.
And look, and George Kirby's pitching him low, and that's going to be a ball.
Yep.
The reason why I can't hate this guy, because that video was my biggest video still to this day, 24,000, which jump-started my channel, so I can't hate him. I owe him gratitude. And got a foul ball. And the Mariners have a player similar to him. His name is Lázaro Montes.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll rivalry someday between the two someday. But last 4 games, 0 for 17 with 7 strikeouts. Take advantage of it, George Kirby. I hope you've looked at those numbers. And his WRC plus isn't that high. The pitch.
Yeah,
and just right in the corner for a strike.
113 still pretty decent. 7 home runs on the year.
But for a Yordan standard, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but we're only 1 month into the season, and that's not bad for an April.
And let's not forget WRC plus this season, 161 versus lefty. Scott Service, take notes.
Yeah. Whatever you do not bring Robbie Ray to the bullpen to face.
Yeah, but he would. He'd be like, "Hey, Robbie, Giants, can I borrow Robbie Ray for a day?" The 2-2. Right. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes Alvarez, and that will retire the side.
Ooh, that was a filthy little slider.
George Kirby's got that stuff.
Yeah, I still can't believe it, because I still I shake my head. It's like, the man that lives and dies by the matchups, the guy that stays predictable is the one that is going to get tagged a little bit. To bring Robbie Ray in that situation is, I don't know, man.
I actually felt bad for Robbie Ray because of all of that.
I didn't, because that wasn't exactly his that wasn't his first, playoff gaffe. I mean, he wasn't sharp at all in the playoffs that year, but it is what
he wasn't.
It is what it is. I'm actually happy that he's off the books now.
Yeah,
I'm
got his
happy that he's.
Haniger back.
Well, it's not that. It's the fact that this upcoming offseason, he's got the opt-out clause in his contract, right? And he's coming off Tommy John surgery, so why would he opt out?
He's
not going to. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'd rather that be somebody else's problem than ours, and so we're on the hook for $24 million for the next 3 years. It opens up a lot of possibilities for the Mariners financially.
Hopefully for making a trade in the the trade deadline. A couple things I would like to see is getting a backup catcher, which maybe the Giants will. Maybe they'll DFA Tom Murphy because he is still playing terribly, but he did hit a home run recently.
No, but that's the thing. Backup catchers are a dime a dozen, and you just want one that, because the way that the Mariners use, their backup catcher is usually you get one start per week, and it is what it is. But that being said, the things that made Tom Murphy so good in Seattle was that I'll give Service credit. He did use Tom Murphy in the right situations. That
he really did.
Yeah.
Now here is a fly ball to center field. That's dropping, and that is caught by the center fielder. Good catch.
Great play out there.
Can't hate him.
Nope. Took away a base hit. Wasn't exactly hit hard, and he charged in. And Dubon just made a good play on that one.
Really did. RPG, was that the pitch that ruined him in Seattle? I think he was already having issues before that. Like, he had issues throughout the season. The only thing that went for him was, I think he had 200 strikeouts, and his only highlight was when he was still standing after the national anthem and left a nice few minutes worth of freeze. I think he got
My issue with Robbie Ray was the fact that he threw so many goddamn pitches in the first 4 innings that he never lasted deep into games. He was usually done by 5, and it's
Mitch Garver. Oh yeah, he was down by 5.
Yeah, and it's and he just wanted to strike out everybody too much, and he actually got tagged pretty good as well too. He was always susceptible to the long ball.
Mitch Garver, he is batting .417 recently in Houston. That playoff performance had something to do with it. So maybe this will be the chance for him to break out. The 1-2 and a check swing. He does not go. So at least Mitch Garver is working on the count on Blanco.
I wonder if he plays break free in the clubhouse.
Who knows? The 2-2 to Garver. And the frame job did not work out. It is now a 3-2 count.
Yep. Not a bad situation to be in.
Not at all.
Because you're going to get
now we're looking at the 3-2. And here's a fly ball to deep right field and fouled.
Yep. He got the
fastball. It looks good though.
Yeah, he got the fastball low in the zone and he made contact. So
Mitch Garver, we need Texas Rangers Mitch Garver. Now here's the 3-2. And that is outside for ball 4, and Mitch Garver gets on base for a walk.
At least we don't have to deal with Nick Lentz behind the plate, because that probably would have been called strike 3. And I like that no call right there. Lead off.
Now we got Luke Raley up to the bat, and they're talking about Papa Murphy's Pizza. Gross.
Ooh, I miss Papa Murphy's.
I like the local ones, but everyone would say that. And that is in there for a strike.
Tell you what, man, Papa Murphy's got a chicken bacon ranch on the crispy thin crust. Ooh, baby.
Did you ever come across Sahara Pizza in Washington?
No, I haven't. I know what it is,
but
I've never had it.
Outside for ball 1.
I'm not a big pizza
Raley
guy.
in his last 5 games, 4 for 9 with a walk and RBI. So that's something that no one pays attention. I didn't pay attention to that. And now we're looking at the 1-1 for Luke Raley. The pitch. And that is outside for a ball.
Yeah, he's quietly been a little had a nice little stretch here.
Yeah. We're looking at the 2-1. And here's the pitch. And that is a 3-1 count. William in Chehalis had Sahara. There's also one in Snoqualmie. Also attached to a bowling alley, too.
Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie is a nice little town.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We're looking at a 3-1. I actually feel like I'm in a different state when I'm there. And now here is going to be a 3-1. And that is fouled.
Oh, he got it too, didn't he? He got the fastball he was looking for.
That was the pitch. That's the pitch. Yeah. That was the meatball right there.
Yep, and he just was a little behind it, fouled it off. Ooh.
Last season, Mariners were 9-4 against the Astros. Would have been a lot better if Mariners took care of business. And now we're looking at the 3-2. And a swing and a miss. He got fooled on that one. It was just a fastball, and they still got fooled.
Yeah, he got he got 2 straight fastballs, fouled one off, and then of course they go to the top of the zone, and he gets he gets the strikeout there at the top of the zone. So
now here's Dylan Moore up to the plate. Dylan Moore, our beloved utility player. I would think that at this point he has joined the group of Mark McLemore and Rich Amaral. Here's the pitch.
Yeah.
And fouled. And I'll throw in Willie Bloomquist.
I'll throw in Doug Strange.
Doug Strange, he was the most clutch out of all of them.
Yeah. Yep. The Stranger.
Very much. The 0-1 for Moore so far. He's batting 197. The pitch. And that is fouled back. And now we're down to strike 2. Willie
Bloomquist.
Last 2 games at Minute Maid Park, 6 for 9 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs.
Yeah, he can hit here.
He can, and he did contribute to an RBI in the playoffs in 22 in Game 2. And now here's the 0-2, and that is outside for ball 1. Dylan Moore, do something good. You know, it's funny. I remember earlier this year, Scott talking about grinding out at bats for fantasy baseball. Or for fastball, but they still miss the fast. They do.
Yeah, they do.
Pitch.
They do.
And that is popped up into foul territory. That is absolutely not playable. I thought it was playable by that angle.
I can't remember seeing a team that has struggled hitting the fastball like this team. It's they preach control the zone and do they do the right things to get into fastball counts, and then they get the fastball and they can't do anything with the fastball. It's odd.
Somehow the Mariners are still leading the division. How?
Because their pitching is
lights out.
It's out of this world good.
It's even better than last year.
It's true.
Like I don't think it's even close, because last year they were shuffling with Marco Gonzalez and Chris Flexen.
Sure, that's true. Yeah.
And no Robbie Ray for pretty much the whole season. Yeah, 1 and 2 counts so far. 36 pitches in for Blanco. And that is outside for a ball.
And this is what we were talking about at the top of the show tonight. It's, making him work, making Blanco work. And
let's get it into the bullpen.
Get it to the right counts. And, so far the Mariners have done that. They just haven't been able to cash in.
We're looking at a 2-2. The pitch. And the frame job, strike 3 called, and that's going to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the second, still 0-0. And a word from our sponsor.
Modern Exterior Solutions is a fully licensed and insured full-service exterior renovations company serving Seattle and East Side communities. We know that a home is one of your most important possessions. That's why we're committed to providing high-quality, affordable home renovations for each customer's individual budget. We're diverse enough to meet the challenges of any project you put in front of us. Our workmanship minimizes the use of third-party services, and our team works together to meet all your deadlines. Anytime there's a challenge, we work with you to find a solution. We're proud to work with distributors of quality brand products with durable, ample protection from the elements for a variety of applications, including James Hardie siding and trim. Talk with us today about your project's needs, and we can help you solve all the challenges along the way.
And if you would like to get your siding and your painting done, use that promo code Modern Rooftop for your 20% off. And moving on, some of you have seen that my new Sonics video has been out. It was about their final playoff run. And I do have a script in the works for the 92-93 the season where the Sonics took the Charles Barkley Suns to 7 games.
Yeah.
And other ideas I also have is, since it's going to be, I believe, the 45th anniversary, I will also be looking to do the Sonic 79 run.
That would be pretty cool. I think you should do a video about how the Seahawks almost moved to Los Angeles. When Ken Behring tried to pull a Baltimore Colts and do a midnight run down to LA, and the league stepped in and said, "You're not moving the team."
Yeah, and they were taking snaps in Los Angeles too.
Yeah. That would be a good video to do as well too.
That's another idea. A lot of ideas and considerations, which is why I'm changing up my entire style of my channel. The pitch, that's a strike. Yeah, like I'd rather, like, at this point, I'm like, I'd rather have more quality edited content than a bunch of slap in, like, oh, Mariners did this and that. And now we're looking at the 0-1. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field, and Mitch Haniger's there and makes the catch. That's the first time the ball even left the infield.
Yeah, and Mitch got a good jump out there, and that's he had a rough time a couple days ago in that afternoon game against the Braves.
Yeah, a lot of people say it was more of the Mitch Haniger era than how Emerson Hancock pitched, and when you looked at his numbers, he only earned 1 run. It was literally just 1 earned run. It was just you can just maybe blame it on the sun, the pitch. Yeah. And that is a strike. And even Teoscar, he wouldn't have caught that either.
No, and I think the other thing is it's easy to put everything on Mitch, but let's be perfectly honest, the Mariner offense also was also very, very, very terrible. So you can't put it all on Mitch.
I mean, they were terrible even the first game, and Mitch Garver just came out of nowhere with that.
Yeah.
A 1-1. And that is a ball.
You're bad for 8 innings and you're good on 1 swing. I guess that it was good enough. So
live and die by the home run.
Exactly.
Jeremy Pena, the game 3 killer of this against the Seattle Mariners. The pitch. And that is popped up. That should be playable. Ty France, he is there. He makes the catch and 2 down.
Here's a little something interesting for you. Like you mentioned live and die by the home run. I think the Mariners are 15-6 when they hit a home run. And they are what, 3-8 when they don't.
They do live and die.
They do live and die. And I'll say this again, it's not something that's going to be sustainable throughout the course of the year.
It will not.
Pulling a rabbit out of your ass with a home run to win it. It's not gonna cut it all year.
Yeah, the way I see it, and hold on, we got George Kirby going to pitch to Diaz, ground ball foul. Like, to get an idea of how the Mariners would do if they make the playoffs, it will basically be no different than the 97 offensive performance. It'll basically be that.
Oh yeah, when Baltimore essentially shut them down.
Yeah, and the Mariners literally, their offense was literally hitting a home run.
Yeah, well, I mean, with that lineup, 100%.
Like, it's crazy that a few of those runs that were not home runs, a couple of those runs were by cheap groundouts. The pitch, foul, ball, foul. And it was like a Roberto Kelly and a Griffey RBI where Amaral scored both of them on game 3 of 97.
Well, but the difference is at least that offense was able to manufacture runs outside of the long ball, which is something that this team literally does not do. Maybe does it once a week.
And looks like George Kirby let that one slip. Now it's a 2-2. Yeah. You almost wonder if that was deliberate or if his arm went oopsie. The 2-2. Yeah, that popped up, fouled, and Diaz is really putting work on him.
Yeah, that kind of gets me nervous too when you see those little oopsie pitches, in a throwing motion like Kirby's. You're like, arm injury.
Yeah, be careful, George. Don't be too furious.
Yeah, he is. Diaz is making him work a little.
And fouled again, and you could see that frustration out of George Kirby. You saw that, dang it.
Yeah, Diaz with the short swing. he's in a 2-strike count, so everything is going to be short and defensive. So, he's not putting anything on the swing. He's just making contact.
He is.
There it is again.
And the 2-2. And fouled again.
Yeah.
And there's little bat boy.
I wonder if George is going to come back with him. Enough is enough, and throw that little knuckle curve he's got.
Yeah, throw that little thing that he did against Texas on the season finale. The 2-2. And he got him to chase, but it fouled again. So you said exactly what he was going to do.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, like, how did Yainer Diaz make contact with that pitch? That's what I want to know. What kind of voodoo magic does he have in that bat?
Maybe signal calling. The 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? He did not, but it wouldn't have mattered because Diaz would have for sure been on first base.
For sure.
And it's a 3-2. 28 pitches for Kirby.
Yeah, you don't want to see him lose him in this at-bat.
You do not.
There it is.
And the 3-2 pitch. And here's a ground ball right to Dylan Moore. The throw to first. And that is in time. And that's another 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners. We go to the top of the third, still scoreless. And what else can I show off about? This one.
There you go.
I got to make some more videos, though. Since 2022, I have been growing this YouTube channel, and I just want to say thank you very much for being part of the growth and for the future. I now have memberships to offer for you. I got 2 different ones. I got Rooftop Fans and Rooftop Super Fans. For Rooftop Fans, which is $1.99 per month, you'll get loyalty badges to give you priorities for responses to comments, and you will even have access to special emojis that I made myself. As for Rooftop Superfans, which is $4.99 per month, you will not only get the benefits of Rooftop Fans, you will also get priority to future videos, including nostalgic videos. So go ahead and check out my membership, and thank you for your support. Yep, thank you, and thank you to my 4 members that are currently joined in, including Mr. William Cook, and I do thank you for that. And I just have to say, their pasta is good. I've never had their pasta, but I got to try, but I think I want to work. I think I'm going to hold off until I lose at least 10 pounds, which I'm doing a sloppy job with. And it's contributed to my back problems. Like, I have friends telling me, like, oh, maybe you're just stressed out so much. You just do too much. I'm like, no, I'm just out of shape. If I was in shape, everything I do wouldn't have mattered.
I don't know, man. A good chicken Alfredo is hard to pass up, man.
It really is, sir.
But you know what, though? That's the thing is if Mr. Cook here is recommending it, I think you should make the trek out there to Snoqualmie and get a good chicken Alfredo. That's what I
really should. Yeah, they also have a food truck on top of it as well. They have a bowling alley. They have a pizza. They sell burgers. Like, this place does everything, and they have arcade cabinets.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm a sucker for a good burger, so I'd probably give that a whirl.
Yeah. Once you visit here, we'll check it out.
Yeah. I might be back in the Pacific Northwest a little bit later this year.
Yeah, now that would be an opportunity where we could either go to a Mariners game or a minor league game, and I feel like we're most likely going to go to a minor league game.
Oh, like it's a must. Every single time I'm in Seattle, you can always find me at T-Mobile Park. It is a must. But usually I come at the end of May, right around Memorial Day weekend. But this year I have a very special family member coming out in August. So I'm gonna wait to go back to Seattle until maybe the fall. So if the Mariners are in the playoffs, maybe I'll make the trek out to Seattle in early October.
0-2 pitch, and that is a fly ball, but that's going to be absolutely playable. And he makes the catch, and that's going to be 1 down. Blanco at 41 pitches.
Yep. And it's too bad to see that the Mariners couldn't figure out a way to get the leadoff guy on. Now we're in the top of the third, and we're through 1 turn through the lineup, and I'd like to see a little bit more aggression out of the Mariners.
Really would. Now here's Julio Rodriguez, the pitch, And that is up high for a ball. And interestingly, the last game that Julio played against the Astros, it was that Hector Nardes exchange, the 1-0. Yeah. Now here's a fly ball to not so deep, and a lot of running going on, but Pena's saying, I got it, and he makes the catch. That was when Nardes struck him out, he was trash talking, caused the benches to empty, and then Houston took advantage of that.
Also, a side note, Blanco tonight has used his four-seam fastball 45% of the time so far. You would think that would be to the Mariners' benefit, but
it just has not.
Just has not. One hit.
Jorge Polanco's now up to bat. The pitch, and that is in there for a strike. I mean, Pedro Serrano would he would kill for this kind of opportunity. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, and that was a meatball pitch right there, and still could not get on that fastball.
Jake, Serrano won a hit.
Okay, get out there. Hey, Serrano, how you doing? Shut up. The 0-2. And that's going to be a ball, 1-2. That's when you need Wayne from Letterkenny to come out and beat the brakes off Houston Astro and get his way. And we're
there you go.
1-2.
There you
now
go.
Here's a fly ball to deep right field, and that is gone. A home run for Jorge Polanco. That is home run number 5 of the season, and the Mariners get on the board to make it 1-0.
Yep, fastball up, and there it is. Finally, the Mariners are able to turn on the fastball, and look at that. Look at that exit velo 105.1. Sounds like a radio station, but it's a high fastball at the top of the zone, and he didn't miss it.
It was just the moment you saw it swing, that swing, you're thinking that's got to go. That has to go out. That's why I held my excitement.
McMurray.
And he spoiled it again. The pitch to Mitch. And that is a ball. Definitely don't do that in the playoffs because I'll get a heart attack.
My question to you is, when does the home run trident, get old to you?
It was old to me day one. I like the Vader helmet from 22. The 1-1. The ground ball, and that is played by Pena. The throw to first, and he still gets him out. But hey, the Mariners got 1 run out of it, and we go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Seattle.
Wayne McMurray. I love that show. I don't know if you've ever seen Letterkenny.
I have not.
Show. It's on Hulu. I recommend it. It's phenomenal. Anyway, very good. And William Cook in the chat room is right. Kirby now has a lead. Granted, it's only a 1-0 lead, but it's something to build upon at this point. And that was the key to the game. First 3 innings, at least get a run out of it. And now maybe they can build on it. But now Kirby's in a position where he can kind of breathe a little bit and pitch a little free. So that's something that you want to see. Although, again, the Mariners living and dying by the home run. So
something that really has to change somehow.
Yeah.
Because the way that the players are, they are talented enough where they don't have to completely 100% depend on the home run.
I always go back to this thought process where, you always hear Scott Service, talk about, how these guys are professional hitters. They're professional hitters, and it is what it is. And yet, when they come to Seattle, they struggle. And it always gets back to it. It's like, is it a talent issue or is it a philosophy issue? And it's like, well, clearly they have talent. We've seen it. We've seen them put together professional at bats and score runs that aren't home runs. We've seen that before. But for whatever reason, it just seems like the struggle is real. And it gets back to a philosophical question when it comes to hitting with this team.
And we are back from the break, and they're showing the play by Jeremy Pena.
Yeah, that
was
was
a nice play.
deep. Yeah, that was deep in the hole too.
That was a lot to make up for, and he got him out. Now here is the pitch, and that is Singleton, and he will take that for a ball.
I didn't think.
I just realized that Jose Abreu got sent down.
Yeah, he was sent to their minor league camp. Yeah, they sent him to wherever. I think their West Palm is their spring training.
Yo, guys, what's up? What's up, Fresh Show? Oh, he had a backhanded play. It's like Jeremy Pena has really stepped up this season. And that's John Singleton, who took over as first base.
Yeah, I didn't even think he was still in the league.
And that is strike 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. So fresh and so clean.
Astros this season in fielding percentage, they are about average team. 1-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for George Kirby.
Yeah.
We got one down.
That was a filthy little slider. Good Lord, was that a good pitch?
He has 3 strikeouts so far.
Yep.
I always kept saying it. George Kirby is the number 1 guy. I think he's got the number 1 of the future. He's
got a 31.9 K percentage versus lefties.
That's why maybe you should have put Kirby against Yordan that game. Swing and a miss.
That is so lopsided. Joey Loperfido.
He's 2 for 9 this season. Looks like he's a new hotshot prospect. The 0-1. And that is up high for a ball. Speak of prospects, prospect Lazaro Montez hit 2 home runs last night. And if my back wasn't so hurting, maybe I would have been tempted to cover that game.
My question is,
here's a line drive, and that's going to drop for a base hit, and the first hit on the board for Houston.
When is Lazaro going to move up the ranks
to Everett? It's like why are they waiting for kind of thing? It's not like Modesto knows that they're going to lose these players anyway.
Sure. And the question is it going to be by June? Or are they going to move him up to Everett by June? Because if he continues to tear the cover off the ball, they're gonna have no choice but to do that.
I think usually June's that time when they start moving people up.
Yeah,
the pitch.
A couple months, yeah.
And that was a kind of a pitch out because the runner was stealing and it was a foul ball.
And he still fouled it. Joey Loperfido.
We'll take that strike.
This is last name.
Mauricio Dubon.
Yeah, little Mauricio. Yeah, it was a clear pitch out and he fouls it off. That's awesome.
I guess he was trying to get a home run out of it. I don't know.
No, it was just a fastball up and he just quick bat. I don't think he was expecting the pitch out right there. That's funny.
It was a good thing they did. Because he was been
1 now.
He would have blazed all the way to second base.
That still could happen.
I mean, look at him. He still looks like he wants to do it.
Are you going to do it? You know you want to do it. Come on, man.
He's not going to do it. And a swing and a miss, strike 2.
Loperfido.
He does well against righties, but against lefties, 74 WRC plus.
Yeah. A big lopsided 130 versus righties. But Kirby is
0-2. Another pitch different. Out. That's going to be a 1 and 2. So Cal Raleigh's playing the mind game on the guy on first. Loperfido.
Yep.
39 pitches for Kirby, a little bit more than we would like.
Chopper.
And now here is going to be the 1-2. Now here's a chopper to second base, throw to second, and no play at first as Dylan Moore plays it safe. Looks like he didn't really have much to throw for.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's you're dealing with a guy in Dubon who can run very quickly. So it's just get your lead runner 2 away now.
And here's little Jose Altuve. And looks like Everett just won their game 8-5, if anyone cares. Game was earlier today at 12. Pretty interesting time to do a minor league game. I guess they didn't want the Friday revenue. Swing and a miss, strike one. Ben Williamson leads the league in average, 340 with 18 RBI, so he is one of the standouts out there.
Let's go, Everett.
Ben Williamson was a draft pick from last year, I believe. So maybe he's one of those sleepers.
My Snohomish County peeps up there.
And now here is a pop-up to Polanco, and the Mariners get out of that inning real quickly. We go to the top of the fourth. It is 1-0 Mariners. And let me do this commercial. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code Rooftop Sports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. You guys know the drill, and I won't remind you guys this time because I don't want to sound needy, but you guys know what to do for your next Mariners game to go to, which is against the Oakland A's. And hey, it's not going to be 2023 Oakland A's. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be a very tough series.
But just do yourself a favor and don't do it on college night. Just avoid T-Mobile Park on college night. So,
I'd like to hear this.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if it's the first or the second game of the series, but it's their annual call. It's okay, so yeah, it's the annual college night, so
college kids going out and get drunk.
Yeah, that too. So it's one of those situations where do you really want to go to T-Mobile Park and deal with that fiasco, or would you rather just wait 24 fiscal hours and just go to the next game?
Or just watch the game here.
Or do that. Either way.
Give me some revenue too. Donate to this channel.
Absolutely, right? So if you don't want to get off your wallet for the Mariners,
get off your wallet for Rooftop Sports.
That's right.
And we are back from the break. And they're talking about low value games as low as $10. Yep, because it's the Monday through Wednesday. And honestly, those are the best days to go. I would not go on a weekend.
Oh, for sure. But it's also there, of course it's conveniently scheduled versus the Kansas City Royals, who, by the way, are playing very good baseball right now.
They are. When I was watching them last year, I could see the upside in them. They were very talented.
Yeah. But they also had one of the most
sweep.
Well, but they also had one of the most proactive off seasons of any team in baseball.
And that was with a low payroll of theirs.
That's exactly right. It's kind of
pitch to Cal. It is. Jeff Nelson pointed Royals out as a team that was more serious than the Mariners were when he made his call out in 2003 before he got traded to the Yankees, 1-0. Yep. And Cal Raleigh had a pitch, and that's going to be a 1-1 count for Cal. He's really got to step it up. I mean, I don't know if that tooth problem is really bothering him that much.
Well, it was a situation where that day off came during a stretch where Cal was unbelievably hot. And so listen, I mean, momentum is the thing in baseball. And when you're on a hitting streak, you don't want to mess with a hitting streak.
And that is going to be a strike.
You got to pay attention to the Crash Davises of the world. Heed the advice. You don't mess with a streak.
Just like you don't mess with Josh Rojas's hot start. And here is going to be the 2-2 pitch. And here's a ground ball right to Altuve. Throw to first, and it's in time. And the struggle continues for Cal Raleigh.
But mainly, you just don't want to mess with Chuck Norris. You just don't want to do it.
Well, Bruce Lee would beg to differ. And now we've got Ty France up to the bat. 55 pitches for Blanco. And the fact that he's only given up one run is a miracle to him. The pitch. And that is a ball.
Every time I think about Bruce Lee, I think about that scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
1-0. And here's a ground ball right to the third baseman. Throw to first in time. What do you think's the best movie that Bruce Lee ever starred in?
Enter the Dragon, maybe.
Yeah, probably. I think it's like one-sided compared to everything else.
Yeah, Enter the Dragon, Fist of Fury was pretty. I liked. It's weird. I mean, I'm not a big kung fu guy at all, but his movies were pretty tight. All of them were pretty good.
Imagine, and here's the pitch, outside for a ball. If only he was still alive for like the '90s movies. Imagine what kind of movies that could have been.
I actually would have think. Yeah, I mean, what it would also have been pretty cool is if if he would have been able to do something with Jet Li, because that's the other
Jet
guy.
Li,
That
Jackie Chan,
yeah, Jet Li was
maybe James Bond even.
That would be him playing like the bad guy in a Bond movie.
Bad guy or that guy that helps. Either way would have worked. 2-1 count. Lazaro Montez in a pitch. That is a 2-2. Montez leads the league in California, 27 RBIs. He has been absolutely on fire, and Modesto's offense is absolutely explosive and lethal.
Yeah, it's one of the better lineups in minor league baseball right now for sure.
That's probably the best I've seen. You got Carmelo, you got Colt Emerson, you got Lazaro Montez, the 2-2. And Mitch Garver chased that for strike 3, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Mariners, but can that last? I don't know.
Well, the way that Kirby's pitching, I would say that maybe. It's a good possibility that it will hold up. But that's the thing is you can't
depend on it.
You can't depend on it, right? So, and you also don't want to put Kirby in that position where he has to, be nails for 7 innings.
Yeah, it's not reasonable.
It's not reasonable. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's he's doing his job, right? So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, you have 9 guys on the diamond, and 8, and one of them is definitely doing his job. The question is will the other 9 step up and have a heartbeat? Show a pulse at the plate.
Remains to be seen. They're showing a basketball commercial.
Oops. I cannot wait until the announcement that the Seattle Supersonics are going to be coming back to Seattle. I cannot wait. I still think it's going to happen within the next year and a half.
Which is why I've started making content, because we all know once the Sonics are back, there's going to be a ton of Sonics YouTubers on the rise, and might as well do it early.
I think that that first night back, that first game back at Climate Pledge,
it's gonna be sold out. Tickets are gonna be like $500 for a cheapo.
Oh, yeah, but you're gonna have a couple numbers raised to the rafters. You're gonna have GP
Gary Payton, Sean Kemp.
Yep, you're gonna have Sean raised to the rafters as well too.
Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis. No, they didn't play long enough.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in the scope of Seattle sports stars, they're not legend. They're not. Ray was awesome. Ray was probably the best shooter they had in team history, but he wasn't a part of that. He wasn't a part of that '90s crew.
No, he wasn't. He was with Milwaukee during that time, and we're looking at an 0-1.
He was with Jesus Shuttlesworth.
He was, and now here's the 0-1. Now here's a ground ball right to Dylan Moore. Nearly bobbles it. Throw to first, and it's in time. And we got one down.
But that's going to be a very special night when the Sonics return. Seattle's gonna blow the roof off that new arena. That would be something I would definitely come back for.
I am hoping to find a way to get to the game in some way, but I don't know what it's going to be. And now here is Yordan Alvarez up to bat.
I would pay the ridiculous ticket price to be.
Well, hopefully by then I'll have some kind of legitimate revenue by YouTube by then.
Yeah, let's hope.
Alvarez is batting .242 with 7 bombs, though. And the pitch.
Yordan.
Now here's a line drive, and that's going to go into the gap for a base hit. That could be extra bases. He's going to second base. The throw to second, and it is not in time. I think if Julio got to that a little bit quicker, I think there could have been a chance to get him out.
No, that was a legit gapper, and you saw Julio hustling, but it was just, it was in a position where it's basically split the gap right there. So I think that was going to be a double regardless. That dude's
George Kirby's on 46 pitches.
That dude's a dangerous hitter, man.
And Jordan is the most scary player in baseball. And the fact that the Dodgers had him and they somehow fumbled on another Alvarez name on that trade with Josh Fields, the pitch. And that is a strike. I heard there was something they fumbled on 2 Alvarez's. They're like, wait, which one do you want? They're like, oh, I want this one. No, don't take this one. No, take this one. It was something like that.
You want a player named Alvarez? We have 2. Take them both.
That's what they're almost better off doing that. The 0-1. And that is a ball. And who would have thought that those 2 teams would meet each other, and Houston put a tear on Josh Fields on a critical game.
Yeah. Was
Alex
that
Bregman has 1,000 hits.
Was that the garbage can? Was that the garbage can year?
That was the garbage can year. The pitch.
Yeah.
And the fly ball foul.
Yeah. The fact that Major League Baseball didn't basically slap Houston on the wrist is, I still find that.
All they did was slap him on the wrist. I blame the Major League Baseball more for not handling appropriately than Houston itself.
Oh, for sure. It was literally let's just sweep it under the rug as quickly as we can. And of course, AJ Hinch is the one that gets the suspension, but the players are like, no, we're good. We don't want to do anything to the players. We'll just blame the manager.
Seems like he took the fall for it too.
That the 100% he took the fall for it.
He did it for the team. And then it became Dusty Baker.
Well, I think they also I would probably assume that AJ Hinch was very well compensated for taking the fall for it.
He did, yeah. And we're looking at a 2-2. 2-2 for Alex Bregman. The last pitch was a pitch out.
Ooh, there you go. That's a base hit.
Now here's a 2-2. Now here's a line drive, and that is going to be a base hit. Are they going to wave in Jordan Alvarez? The throw to the plate is cut off by Rojas. No one is going home, but Mariners have an opportunity to get a double play, but now you got runners on first and third with 1 out, though. Yeah. And George Kirby
And Bregman gets a fastball up, and he was waiting on the fastball. Nice solid base hit right there. But it's Jordan Alvarez. It's a short left field porch or short left field. They're Mariners were able to hold Jordan at third base. But you're right, it's now a double play opportunity. But it's Jeremy Pena at the plays.
He's having a pretty good start this season.
Yeah, but he's also a quick dude as well too. So you're gonna have to
331.
Yep, you're gonna have to be on point defensively to pull off this double play.
PCL pitcher of the month, Jonathan Diaz, 4-0 with a 2.89 ERA, 31 Ks and 4 walks. So someone to look at in case someone in the rotation gets injured.
Yep, Jonathan Diaz. Yeah, he's that's actually pretty astonishing for the Pacific Coast League. So good on Diaz.
Runners in scoring position, batting 300 is Jeremy Pena with 8 RBIs. And here we are in the bottom of the 4th, and Kirby's already struggling. I mean, he's finally struggling with runners on first and third, and umpire calls time. And he says we're good to go.
Second time through the lineup now, and they got to look at his repertoire. So they're sitting fastball, you'd like to think.
Now we're looking at the 0-1 for Pena, or he's 0 for 1, shall I say. The pitch. Here's a ground ball. Will not be a double play ball. The throw to first, and it is in time. But on that play, Jordan Alvarez will score, and it'll be a 1-1 game.
Tie game. And so there goes the 1-run lead right there. But smart play right there by Dylan Moore, understanding that the only play was at first base. Didn't try to get fancy, didn't try to get cute, just went and got the out. good solid play right there by Dylan.
It really was. And now here is the next man up to bat, Yainer Diaz.
Yainer.
I think he was the one that gave George Kirby a hard time.
Yeah, I think he had the 12 pitch at bat where he was fouling pretty much everything off.
And now we're looking at an 0-1 as he swung and missed. He's batting .281 with 3 homers and 15 RBIs. Diaz is their catcher. And now we're looking at the 0-1. And here's a ground ball right to Rojas. Should be easy play. Throw to first, and it's in time. But Houston evens up with a run, and it's now going to be a 1-1 game going to the top of the 5th.
Yeah, that was an interesting inning because it looked like the Astros were making Kirby work a little bit right there in that inning. We're able to capitalize on the double by Jordan. But now it's now we're back at 0-0. So it's very indicative that the Mariners either continue making Blanco work or at least try to be a little aggressive early in the count against the fastball because they're getting them.
You really are. And that inning made me want to do this too.
Modern Exterior Solutions is a fully licensed and insured full-service exterior renovations company serving Seattle and East Side communities. We know that a home is one of your most important possessions. That's why we're committed to providing high-quality, affordable home renovations for each customer's individual budget. We're diverse enough to meet the challenges of any project you put in front of us. Our workmanship minimizes the use of third-party services, and our team works together to meet all your deadlines. Anytime there's a challenge, we work with you to find a solution. We're proud to work with distributors of quality brand products with durable, ample protection from the elements for a variety of applications, including James Hardie siding and trim. Talk with us today about your project's needs, and we can help you solve all the challenges along the way.
Yep, and you guys know the drill. If you have a home somewhere in Washington, King County, or Snohomish, use that promo code Modern Rooftop for that 20% off. 20% off.
Yeah, 20% off. And by the way, what's awesome about that promo code is when you use it, you will definitely get a Modern Rooftop. So, that's right there is killing 2 birds with 1 stone right there. So definitely use the promo code.
Definitely. And they're talking about the J-Rod squad, which honestly, I would not even sit there.
No. There's only one place that you can sit at T-Mobile Park, and that is, of course, Lookout Landing. Best seats in the house. Period. Point blank.
Try to remember, where is Lookout Landing? I don't have the explanation.
Oh, I think it's now called the Trident Deck. It's right there. It's right there in the corner in the left. It's right there in the 300 level, right there in the left field.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
now here's a ground ball foul.
On one side, you got the entire cityscape, and you got the sound on one side, and the other side, obviously, is the ballpark. Great, just the best seats in the house.
And looks like Luke Raley broke that bat on that foul. I did see that chipping.
Yeah,
Blanco on 64 pitches. You would think that with the amount of wear and tear he has, Mariners should be jumping on him.
Well, 64 pitches in, and then of course Raley's in an 0-2 count right now, so you would like to think that they would be making him work a little bit more, but
And here is going to be the 0-2, and that is upside for a ball, 1-2. 65 pitches for Blanco. Now here's the 1-2, and line drive foul was on the inside.
So there you go, right? He was started off in an 0-2, and now he's 2-2. So.
And now we're looking at the 1-2 and the pitch. And check swing. Did he go? He did not. But those check swings drive me crazy. I wonder if there's a statistic for most check swings taken for the Mariners. Because if there is, it feels like they're up there.
There you go, Luke.
There you go. And here's a line drive, and that is going to be a base hit, and that is going to be a single for Luke Raley. And he gets on board with a single.
And that's exactly what you want to see, because Raley's got that speed now at first base, and this is exactly the type of start to the inning that you want. Maybe maybe we might even see the hit and run. We'll see.
And we got no outs so far. And I wonder who's up to bat. Is it gonna? I think it's Dylan Moore.
Ooh.
And now here's the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to deep left field, and that is gone. That is a 2-run home run for Dylan Moore, and the Mariners take a 3-1 lead. What a hit by Dylan Moore. That just came out of nowhere.
And it initially looked like a line drive that was going to hit off the scoreboard there in left field, but it just gets over good enough. I'll say this: this is exactly what you were looking for in this top half of the fifth. Just do something offensively, and then there it is. And of course, Dylan has a nice little track record of hitting here in Houston. So,
and that's exactly what we were asking them to do. It's like, hey, jump on those high pitch counts, and then they did. And Dylan Moore is 7 for 11 in his last 3 games at Houston, so he is quietly the Houston killer.
Well, and it's also just being aggressive early in counts because you're going to get it. So it's sitting on fastball and then just turning on it. And Dylan put a good swing on that little high fastball right there.
And must I say it again? Mariners are living and dying by the home run as usual.
Yeah, living on a prayer. What's up, Zafori?
Zafori is back. Thank you for joining us. And now we got Josh Rojas.
I was wondering
1-0.
where he was.
And that is a strike. We're looking at the 1-1 for Josh Rojas.
Ooh, thanks.
And here's the pitch. And that fouled right off of his foot. He seemed like he's okay, though.
Yeah, those hurt so much.
I can only imagine. Luckily, I haven't fouled off of my foot before. I wouldn't want to know, considering
there it is.
Really fast. The 1-2. Here's a ground ball, and that could be that is going to be an infield hit for Josh Rojas.
Yep. Nice little dribbler down the third base line.
He really was a nice dribbler. And they're showing that Dylan Moore home run that left really quickly. That was just a laser. Now here is Julio Rodriguez up to bat.
Yeah, and of course Julio has got that blood pumping. He sees Dylan, jumping on a first pitch fastball. You know how Julio be.
Julio looks like he really wants that home run. He only has 1 this season, but he's batting .266, which is a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. From where he started to where he is now. So yeah, definitely.
And that is going to be a ball. 1.
Yeah, what's funny? He's still kind of on that single tip. I know he got a double in the Atlanta series, but it's nice to see that some things are starting to drop for him. Oh, that's
1-1. Oh, that's caught by Pena. Throw to first, and that's in time for the double play. There was not really much of a way you could have
avoided it.
Not really.
Not really. I mean, that thing was crushed, but right at Pena.
76 pitches for Blanco. I would think that this is going to be the last inning for Blanco.
It might be. But the last thing Houston wants to do is get to the bullpen early. If Blanco can get Polanco out here in a timely fashion, we might see him in the 6th. Because 70, 76, 77 pitches, but I think you might be right.
Polanco is 1 for 2 with a home run in the 3rd. The pitch, ground ball, foul. He has 5 home runs this season, 13 RBIs. 1-1 count so far. Blanco is nearly at 80 pitches. And here is the 1-1. And that is up high for a ball, 2-1.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the 2-1. And that is going to be a strike. Polanco has 5 career multi-home run games. The last time he did it was on July 6th of 22 during the Mariners hot streak.
When he was in Minnesota.
Yeah. Polanco is working on a 2-2. And here's the 2-2. And that is outside. Diaz tried to frame that one, but the umpire wasn't having it. 81 pitches for Blanco. Now he's crossed the 80, and he's really sweating. And now here's the 3-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and Blanco was overjoyed for that. And that will retire the side, but the Mariners do take the lead, and it's going to be a 3-1 Mariners lead off a Dylan Moore home run. Since 2022, I have been growing this YouTube channel, and I just want to say thank you very much for being part of the growth and for the future. I now have memberships to offer for you. I got 2 different ones. I got Rooftop Fans and Rooftop Super Fans. For Rooftop Fans, which is $1.99 per month, you'll get loyalty badges to give you priorities for responses to comments, and you will even have access to special emojis that I made myself. As for Rooftop Super Fans, which is $4.99 per month, you will not only get the benefits of Rooftop Fans, you will also get priority to future videos, including nostalgic videos. So go ahead and check out my membership, and thank you for your support. And there are videos on the way in the nostalgia. Just so you know. It's going to be another Sonics video on the way. The ETA, I'm not really sure. Maybe about a couple weeks from now. Just less than a couple weeks. And yeah, Steve is in the bathroom right now because he needs a bathroom break. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And he's back.
And we're back. That's what I appreciate about the Sonics videos that you do is that, especially when you do the 92, 93 one, it brings back very good memories of, growing up in the early 90s and watching Sonics basketball. So it'll be good to relive that.
It's something I'm doing for the Sonics fans because a lot of them are going to feel pain once Oklahoma makes a huge run to the NBA Finals, which I can see happening. So what I'm going to try to do is at least make the fans feel a little bit better that at least there were happier times back then that we could use a time machine on.
I'll say this: we are so far removed now from, from when the Sonics left. Let me rephrase that: when the Sonics were ripped from Seattle. And, if it was in the first 5 years, which almost did happen with KD when he was still
KD
there.
and Westbrook and Harden.
Yeah. If that would have happened, I would understand. But I mean, to this point now, we have a lot of new, young Seattle sports fans that weren't around for the Sonics. So,
oh yeah, that's true. Like my own cousin has Oklahoma gear.
Yeah, and it's for
1-1.
me now. For me now,
Blanco throw to first in time, and also must consider that maybe a lot of Seattle fans, at my age, they probably don't even live in Washington anymore. A lot of people in my graduating class, they moved to Texas and Arizona, so maybe that whole Sonics thing just died on them. Maybe they adopted the Suns, they adopted the Mavericks, or the Spurs, or the Rockets,
or even the Thunder. It is what it is. But I mean, we're so far removed now that they've been in Oklahoma City now for we're.
Almost 2 decades.
2 decades. Come 2028, it'll be 20 years. So I mean, they're fully now, Oklahoma City.
They're fully Oklahoma, and none of the remnants of the Sonics are even there anymore. I mean, Nick Collison just retired 7 years ago.
Yeah.
The 01. And he did a good job. He did an excellent job throughout his career, keeping at least somewhat trying to keep the peace between Oklahoma and Seattle. He said he had nothing but love on both of them.
Yeah, I mean, what can Nick Collison do? But it is what it is. It's if anybody was around for 2000, 2005 to 2008, and just the turmoil that Howard Schultz and Clay Bennett put Seattle through, it leaves a lasting sting. But that being said, though, when the Sonics do return, that'll be a great day.
It will be 1-2. And here's the thing, like, and if Oklahoma wins this season, it's not like it's going to be like the Ravens winning the Super Bowl after just 4 years. It's because everything that they've built from this time around, that was built well in Oklahoma City.
Well, but also if you really think about it, I mean, we're already, and
here's a line drive, and that's going to be a base hit.
Oklahoma City has had three full rebuilds since they've left Seattle, so it is what it is. But it will be nice. I'll say this: when the Sonics come back, it'll be nice being able to drive down to Detroit to Little Caesars Arena and watch the Sonics play the Pistons when they roll through town. That's going to be. I'm going to wear
I want. I want the Sonics to tank for the first 5 seasons.
Well, they will tank for the first 5 seasons because
expansion.
Expansion teams are generally terrible for the first 5 years. But I'll say that when the Sonics roll through Detroit, I'll wear my Kevin Durant rookie jersey, and cheer on the green and gold. That'll be nice.
I don't even have Sonics jerseys.
I only have like 3 or 4 jerseys, and one of them is the KD rookie jersey.
Now we're looking at the 0-1 to Dubon, the pitch, and that is up high for a ball. NBA is losing television viewers by the millions. It's true, which is why TNT might get out of it, and NBC wants to go in for the kill.
Well, but you have to understand is there's still going to be just billion-dollar broadcast deals. And the thing about it is, it's the biggest problem is nobody cares about the NBA regular season. It's they have devalued the regular season to the point where nobody watches until the playoffs anyway.
And I haven't really heard much people talking about the playoffs this season either.
Yeah, that's true.
The throw to first, not in time.
But what do you expect? I mean, it's a league that sold out to its stars, and it is what it is.
Reason why bringing the Sonics
defense.
Yeah, nobody plays. Oklahoma is the only team that plays defense.
Yeah, they've literally stripped the game of its defense, and what it is now, it's just a fast break off.
And now you got Europeans teaching us how to play real basketball.
Victor
Wembanyama, he's not even American. He's French.
French.
And the 3-1.
I have yet to see.
And that is a pop-up. And Mitch Haniger, he is going to be there. And he makes the catch. We got 2 down.
Yeah.
But the one good reasons why NBA and NBC might be back and the Sonics is you've got both of them have big nostalgic value, of course. NBA and NBC is very nostalgic. NBC would bring in more viewers, in my opinion. And all that merchandise, the Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, and Kevin Durant jerseys will sell.
Well, but the other thing is when they do negotiate their new TV deal, they will have money baked into the new TV deal that will allow them to expand for 2 more teams. So it's probably going to be Seattle, Las Vegas.
Seattle and Vegas has to be, unless there's another team or another city out there.
And the biggest reason why they haven't done it this far is because they've been waiting for for this new TV deal to expire and them to negotiate something new. But the one thing the owners don't want to do is take less money. So this contract, I'm sure the owners will be making more, and it'll allow room for 2 more teams.
Let's hope so. And Altuve is looking at a 2-0. Sad thing is, I don't even recognize more than half the players anymore, which is sad.
I haven't watched
3-0.
I haven't watched a full NBA game in, let's see, it's 2024 now, so 15 years. It's been a while.
I haven't watched a full legitimate season since 2018.
I haven't watched
that. Everything went downhill after LeBron went to the Lakers. 3-0, and that was right in the middle for a strike.
I haven't watched an NBA Finals since the 2016 NBA Finals when Cleveland came back to win their first title since '64, and I haven't watched a full season since the 2007-2008 NBA regular season.
And we're looking at a 3-1, the pitch, and that's another strike, and those are 2 fastballs in a row for Altuve. So I wonder, begs the question, what kind of a pitch will George Kirby pitch on this one?
I would probably assume there it is, fastball.
I would have thought just a fastball going after him. The 3-2. And now here's a fly ball to left field. Rayleigh is there. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side. With the exception of a hit, a pretty easy inning for George Kirby. Go to the top of the 6th. It is 3-1.
Yeah. I would think that, in that situation where, he was behind in the count and he was able to run a couple fastballs to get into a full count, I probably would assume that he was going to stick with what was working, which was obviously the fastball, and he got one a little up and right there to Rayleigh in left field. The thing that's disconcerting is the fact that, yes, the Mariners right now are leading 3-1. But again, 2 home runs tonight is the extent of their offense. And I just would like to see, them, put together a couple base hits and then get a clutch hit and, at least do something a little bit different to at least add to the 3-1 lead and, essentially just basically put their throats on the Houston Astros.
No mercy. And it looks like the commercials are still going on.
Yeah. Oh, look who's there. It's Reflect the Sun.
Reflect the Sun. Gents, Ems fans, Zafori, what's the NBA? Yeah, I know the joke.
Yeah.
But the NBA has been a joke. Like, no one's playing defense unless it's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like, I see the YouTube comments and people go, man, the only team that really watches Oklahoma because they actually value defense, which is why I think they have the best shot to win a championship because defense.
The funny thing was that the team that plays no defense at all was the LA Lakers, and they got punked in the first round by Minnesota. So,
and
which
LeBron's
was kind
like,
of
the refs.
Yeah. But that being said, I would probably assume that his kid is probably going to get drafted by the Lakers, and LeBron and Bronny will play for a couple seasons before LeBron hangs it up.
Let's really be honest. Bronny's just going to hang out in the G League because he did almost nothing in college. Actually, he pretty much did do nothing in college.
Well, not right away. I mean, they'll keep him on the active roster with his dad for a couple of years before LeBron retires, and then once he retires, I'm sure that you're probably right about the G League. I always thought that LeBron would go back to Cleveland for his last year. You know what I mean?
As a bandwagon Cavaliers fan, I would actually be against that. Be like, it's a young core. It's just not necessary, and you're taking a spot away.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, right? It's like, finish it where it started.
I guess so.
And that's the thing. It's like, he's not Kareem. He's not Magic. To do the farewell tour in the Lakers uniform makes absolutely no sense, because even in LA, they don't think of LeBron as those guys. So it would be
like
nice
Kobe, Shaq, or Kareem,
exactly.
Magic. He's
not them. And it's like he won the bubble tournament in 2020, and it's like that's not even a real championship anyway. Go back to Cleveland, to a town, to a region that absolutely loves you, and say goodbye the right way.
I actually think bubble was more legitimate just because nobody had home field. Nobody had home court advantage. So I think the bubble is even more difficult to win.
Yeah.
That's my case.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, it was the bubble. It was the bubble tournament. I think they only played like 12 games.
They did 3-2. And now here's a fly ball to not deep left field, and he is there, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, the Lakers are a shell of their former selves. It's the franchise that badly needs stars, and it's like, why don't you organically try to build something and then add your stars to it instead of the other way around?
LeBron is holding it back.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying this was even before LeBron. It's just the way that the Buss family had always run the Lakers, where they always need stars, and it's like, that this is a franchise that's never ever rebuilt.
No, they never legitimately did through the draft. The pitch.
Ooh,
and that is a fly ball to left field, and that is caught by Pena. What a catch!
What a catch, dude! That was Jeter-esque right there. That was
Jeter-esque.
Oh my, yeah, dude. He came flying into that into the picture right there as that was treading down the left field line. Pena, and actually it was the left fielder that actually made the catch. Lopinfino was the one that made the catch. But then you see Pena flying in, and of course he goes into the stands, but still hell of a hustle, hell of a good opportunity right there by Pena.
Really was. Pena's really improved from last season. Last season was his down year. Kids call it the sophomore slump.
Credit to the Astros though, because when you have a guy like Carlos Correa, who was the consensus #1 overall pick when they got him, and of course he comes up to the Houston Astros right as the Astros became what you would consider the Astros. They didn't tie him up long term. They were like, all right, peace out. And then of course they have this young kid in Pena, and he picks up right where he left off. And it's like, it's just amazing how they're able to do that.
I remember at one point in the 22-23 offseason, I wanted Correa to sign with the Mariners.
Oh, so did I.
Too. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is still a 3-1 game.
Oh, and the best part was that Pena signed, when Pena signed with the Twins, he had the opt-out after the first year, which he did. He opted out. He was on the market again. And I was like, you know what? It's the situation where it's like, maybe you can convince JP to move to second base, or maybe you even can convince Carlos Correa to move to second base. But the idea of having that dude in your lineup would have been phenomenal.
Really would have been. And someone that knows Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's, that's the thing. It's like, eventually you're going to have to spend money for this team to take the next step. You want to, you can build all you want. You can establish the pitching pipeline. All of that's fantastic. But eventually it's like, what is your overall intention and what is your overall goal? Is that winning a championship? Because if it is, and if your bar is high, then you're going to have to do.
They're going to have to bite the bullet at some point.
Exactly. And that's how you determine a winning mentality. It's like, are your owners winners, or are they just in it for, for personal reasons? And so, that would have been that would have been a phenomenal signing, but it is what it is.
I mean, just like my YouTube channel, I'm not here for money. I'm here for many other things, being able to express how I feel about the Mariners, making Sonics fans happy with my nostalgic videos, because when I do look up those videos, there's hardly any videos on the Sonics. So I have a void to fill.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, that Game 7 of the 93 Western Conference Finals, I think Charles Barkley set a record for free throws. The refs put Barkley on the line all game long.
They did. I mean, you saw that Sean Kemp was frustrated throughout that game. Yeah. And here is the pitch inside for a ball.
There were a lot of non-call fouls in that game.
I gotta watch that game.
Yeah,
gotta watch at least Game 7. I think Game 7's the one that matters most.
Actually, Game 6 was the one. But I'll say this though: every once in a while, if you have NBA TV, every once in a while they'll show that Game 7.
Good thing we have YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Show everything. And now we're looking at the 2-0, and here is the pitch. 2004-5 Sonics. I actually had to do digging on research. I actually had to legit do digging, especially for the video.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it comes to the NBA, I think Reflect the Sun is right.
3-0.
Out of all the sports, I do believe that the NBA is rigged when it comes to stars.
Now, what do you think the outcome would have been for the 93 finals between the Sonics and the Sun, or Sonics and the Bulls? And after the 3-1 pitch, and that is fouled.
I
still think Bulls win.
Here's the thing. I think they would have given the Bull. I think they probably could have taken the Bulls to 7 that year. I think you're right. Jordan's the X factor, but like it was different in 96 because that Bulls team was so goddamn loaded in 96 that nobody was going to beat the Bulls.
3-2.
But in 93,
Sean Kemp versus Horace Grant.
Yeah. Like I'd probably take Kemp in that series over Horace Grant.
Gary Payton, and then a healthy Nick McMillan.
But that's exactly right. But this was also the glove on the come up, right? Where he was
on the rise. Yeah. 3-2.
A tenacious defender.
And a fly ball to left field, and Rayleigh is there and makes the catch, and we got one down.
And
81 pitches for Kirby.
And I think that series probably goes 7.
7. Yeah. And then would Jordan have that 55-point performance? And let's not forget, Suns defense was awful because Paul Westphal doesn't know how to coach a defense. And now here is Yordan Alvarez, 1 for 2.
Like, the Sonics were a very good defensive team in 92, 93. And it's like, yeah, Jordan's going to be Jordan because Jordan's always Jordan, right? Like he's going to have those games. But that being said, it's like, how teams beat Jordan was you lock everyone else down and you just let Jordan just do Jordan be Jordan. If you can contain Scottie Pippen, you're fine. And that's why I think that series would have gone 7.
Possibly. And now we're looking at the 1-1 to Yordan, the pitch. And that is in there for a strike. Yordan did double last time.
But the question is, though, where's Game 7 being played? Is it at the old Seattle Center Coliseum, or is it?
No, it'd been Chicago. Chicago had the home court. Would have had the pitch. And that is fly ball to left field. That could be out of play. No, Rayleigh is there and makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 down. But
that was also the Paxton series, right? Where Paxton
he made that 3-pointer.
Yeah. John Paxton. Yeah, I miss those. I miss those small white guy, sharpshooting white guys in the NBA. The
Mark Price.
Yeah, Mark Price.
Craig Elo.
Yep. The guy who used to play for the Magic and then he became head coach. What was his name? Scott Skiles.
Scott Skiles.
Well, yeah, Scotty Skiles.
Hey, Scott Skiles. What are you gonna do to fix? What should Eddie Curry do to fix his rebound? Jump.
What was it? Dan Marley, Thunder Dan Marley. What's his
1-0.
Sexy Rexy Chapman,
who nearly upsetted the Sonics in 97 playoffs. Nearly.
Yeah, those crafty white guy shooters. Steve Kerr was that guy.
Jeff Hornacek and John Stockton.
Jeff Hornacek. Oh,
1-1. Here's a ground ball right to Rojas. Easy play. Throw to first in time. And another 1-2-3 inning for George Kirby. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Still 3-1.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe I'll make that a closing for now. If the Sonics made it to the NBA Finals, what do you think that series could have been? Well, I still think the Bulls would have won because Michael Jordan maybe, and the fact that Gary Payton wasn't there yet. But I still think with Nick McMillan as a good defender, they could have at least made it more interesting than the Suns.
Healthy Nate McMillan, and of course, George Karl. That was the infancy of the George Karl era, and of course, he played a half court. He always played a half court trap defense. So it's like you had Sean Kemp on the boards right there, and I think physically he matches up with Horace Grant. It's like if you can take Scottie, that's the one thing is like, did the Sonics have the perimeter defense to shut down Scottie Pippen? Because I mean, if it's just Jordan versus if it's just Jordan doing the entire scoring, you have a more than realistic chance to beat the Bulls. But that being said, it's like you're also game planning George Karl versus Phil Jackson. And it's like, that's a good series.
Gary Payton versus BJ Armstrong. I think it would have been Ricky Pierce against MJ. They obviously would have switched on that one.
They would have switched. And Nate Mack would be coming off the bench to guard Jordan as well too.
And that was prime Nate McMillan.
and I think this was before Detlef Shrimp, I believe.
It was just before Detlef.
So that was what, Derek McKee?
It was like Derek McKee, Ricky Pierce. That was a very scrappy team.
Yeah, that was a. I'm trying to think of like who was on that night. Was Eddie Johnson was on that team, and I'm going
to take a look at that team.
And I think Sam Perkins got traded that season.
He was from the Lakers because the Lakers were in disarray.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. It's like, who was our big guy that year? Who was our 5 that year in the 92-93?
Steve Scheffler was coming off the bench.
Super Chef, man. He was my favorite Sonic of all time.
He's everyone's favorite Sonic.
Yeah. Super Chef.
Who was that center? Michael Cage was their center.
Michael Cage. Where did Chef go to college? Ooh, there you go.
And now here's Mitch Garver up to the plate. And here's the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to nowhere.
Center field.
Yep. Scheffler went to Michigan. No, Purdue.
Purdue. Yep. Actually, he was the Big Ten. I think he was the Big Ten Player of the Year. His senior year, led the Big Ten in rebounds. He was a good college player.
He may have not gotten the playing time, but he was a very efficient shooter, at least.
I remember in the 96 finals, I think it might have been game 4. And, the Sonics were up big in the fourth quarter, and the entire Key Arena was shouting for Scheffler to get into the game.
He did.
The Key Arena was shouting, put in Chef. And he had, good on George Karl because he put in
and
Chef.
A ground ball, and, Rayleigh actually almost beat that out. I like the hustle, but that's going to be 2 down.
So the Astros are now in their bullpen. And that's a quick 2 outs.
Yeah, Martinez with 3 pitches.
Yeah.
So they had Sean Kemp, Derek McKee was probably their small forward, Gary Payton, Ricky Pierce, Nate McMillan, Michael Cage, Sam Perkins, Eddie Johnson, Dana Barrows, Vincent Askew, Benoit Benjamin.
I was wondering if Barrows was on that team. I couldn't remember if he was gone by then. But you also have to figure that was the year that Sean still hadn't developed that mid-range jumper yet.
He did not. Derek McKee was a 6'9" small forward?
Yeah.
And he was traded for strength. Honestly, hot take, I would have taken McKee. And a check swing, pitcher, the toss to first, in time.
Det was such a good perimeter defender. That was the thing that I appreciated about Detlef. He was a very, very good perimeter defender. Don't get me wrong, I like Derek McKee. I like Derek McKee's offense better. But that being said, though, for the style that George Karl liked to run, he was very defensively accountable, and that's the thing. It's like Detlef was a good perimeter lockdown defender. But that being said, though, I remember that was the season where Sean around the rim. Sean was phenomenal. It was like when he was 5 feet, 5 to 10 feet out from the rim, he struggled. And that was the next year he came back, and he actually he spent the offseason developing that jumper. 94,
95, and 96.
93, 94, 94, 95, yeah.
And it is the bottom of the 7th. You know what that means, right?
Yep.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root.
Root for the Mariners.
If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be because George Kirby's on fire.
For it's 1, 2. Trace strikes, you're out at the old ball
game. And here's to hoping that George Kirby is still pitching, because if he isn't, I have a small 2-second clip to play. Louis. Oh no! I think no. I think they pulled him.
Yeah, Kirby's done.
Okay, this is for
88 pitches, 6 innings, 88 pitches. Yeah, that's about right.
Here's my feelings. That's how I feel. I think he should get one more inning.
That being said, that was like the best part of Austin Powers, where he was on that slow rolling, the cement
thing.
Yeah, the cement roller, and he's like 50 feet away. The cop is like, no. He has time to move out of the way.
Well, that was the point of the movie. It wanted to be stupid. That's why it was so good, because it was stupid.
Well, I'll tell you what, RPG. The reason why Scott always does that is because now you're getting into the third time through the lineup. And he's at 88 pitches. So, and especially the way the Mariner bullpen's been, it's not out of the realm of possibility they can close out these last 3 innings. But I'm with you. It's like I'd like to see them
the hot hand.
Seventh. I'd like to see him go out for the 7th because he's still effective. And if that means he pitches 100 to 100, throws 100 to 105 pitches, so be it. It's not like his arm's going to fall off. So
yeah,
it's being a little overly cautious.
And sometimes that over caution can lead to a Tommy John anyway, because of arm would be less warm.
That's exactly right. It doesn't really matter. Like I think it's kind of ridiculous with the 100 pitch limit that they never ever even.
Or like a 985 now at this point.
Yeah.
I remember when Scott Service pulled Logan Gilbert after 85, and I was heavily against that, and that was in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a little bit different, though, because that was Logan. I think that was Logan's rookie season, but in 2022, I can understand that. But the thing about it is, it's like these guys are major league pitchers, and they're stretched out. I know it's the end of the end of April, early May, but these guys have already been stretched out. They're more than capable of pitching 7 innings and reaching the 100 pitch limit, or even going a couple pitches over. I don't know, man. It's ridiculous to me how pitchers are coddled now.
I mean, that's maybe George Kirby says, I don't want to pitch, and I don't want to pitch the 7th inning, to be honest with you. Maybe that's what he said. At least he handled it privately.
Because he doesn't want to pitch the 7th inning. He's
for whatever stupid reason.
He's already publicly said that his day is done. That was embarrassing.
And Roger Clemens called him out, and honestly, rightfully so.
Yeah, good for Roger, because he was right.
He was right, and everyone hates him, but at least everyone agrees that he still should be Hall of Fame, whether people love him or not. The pitch.
Oh, yeah.
And that is inside for ball 4. And here's my feelings.
Not what you want. You never want to get the leadoff guy aboard. And now you're in a situation with Mauricio Dubon. And the one thing that you like is Trent can pitch to contact and get the ground ball. But still, though, the last thing you
don't want to depend on that.
Yeah, you don't want to see the leadoff guy get on, especially with a walk.
Especially Yainer Diaz, who's already been known to put work on the pitchers of the Mariners.
I have a feeling that William Cook is from Centralia. I don't know why I feel this way, but this is not the first time that he's mentioned Centralia in the chats.
I've been to Centralia. It's a very small town vibe.
The question is are you pro Centralia or are you pro Chehalis?
And we're looking at the 0-2 so far, the pitch. And here's a ground ball right off of Thornton, and Ty France is not going to get anyone.
All I know is you got to pass through Centralia Chehalis on your way to Portland.
That's for sure.
I've never stopped off that either.
My feeling on the drive. Okay, what's the best drive to do? Driving east, driving north, driving south, or driving west? East.
Driving east.
The desert you go through to get to Spokane and Coeur d'Alene.
Well, first and foremost, it's not a desert; it's a wheat field. You know what I mean? You're driving through country. I will say this: that the best is when you get past Spokane and you're driving through Coeur d'Alene, and then because like 45 minutes you're in Montana, and then once you get to Montana, good Lord, is that a gorgeous state? Montana is. I can't say enough about how much I love Montana.
Oh yeah, and at that very tip of Idaho is like small. So you get to.
But once you get past Spokane and you get into Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is awesome.
You know, that was also the road that Griffey took to go to Florida in 2010. Yeah. The same road.
Didn't a guy at a gas station call in and say, "Hey, I just saw Junior fill up gas"?
Yeah. And then Jay Buhner texts him going, "Dude, where the bleep are you?" And where are the chances Griffey answers that? 0.
What was cool is when I was driving out here to Michigan, and then I got to the Mississippi River. That was really cool because I had never seen the Mississippi in person, and it was actually, I don't know, man. I thought it was actually quite patriotic to cross the Mississippi. I felt like Lewis and Clark.
We're looking at an 0-2. John Singleton up the plate. Yeah. Like if the Mariners lose this, then this will prompt me to make an actual video, and it'll be titled "Scott Service Made Another Critical Error." It'll be like episode 3, Scott Service making a critical error.
Well, the thing about it is, it's at 88 pitches. This is like the thing that he does constantly. He'll pull pitchers a little earlier than expected. But that being said, when you have a bullpen as good as Seattle's, it is what it is. But now here's, like, if anything, the question is, after the leadoff walk and then you had the base hit off his ass, like, do you start getting somebody up in the bullpen at this point? Because there's still nobody out and there's 2 on, and it's like, what happens if Singleton here gets a base hit? They bring in a run. It's like, why don't you have somebody warming up the bullpen just in case?
Thing is, as much as you can say that they are the third best, but we can say that. The thing is, you don't want to get overly dependent on it. The pitch. And that is outside for a ball, and Raleigh was very desperate to frame that. Any word on Santos back? They're saying like end of May, possibly. Yeah. But I don't know if that's even a firm thing.
There you go. Oh,
and now we're looking at the 2-2, the pitch. And here's a ground ball right to Ty France, but that's not going to get much. We got 1 out. But that will leave runners on 2nd and 3rd. And if I were Scott Service, I'd call for that intentional walk to prompt a double play, because if Thornton is that ground ball type guy, then you definitely want to do that intentional walk.
Well, it all depends on who's coming to the plate right now. That being said, it's like they're not even wasting any time. They're taking Thornton out right now. So yeah, there you go. And so I was right. There was somebody up in the pen. And that's a smart move. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Trent Thornton, but tonight wasn't his night. And so now you need somebody who is going to have to be able to get a key strikeout in this situation right now, because they desperately need the second out.
They really do.
Yeah.
But man, I was heavily opposed. Now, if Kirby was like kind of struggling, well, yeah, obviously, but he was pitching a near shutout.
Yeah, he was pitching pretty well. He gave up the 1 run, but since he gave up the run, he kind of locked down a little bit. And I'm with you. I would have, if I was in that situation, I let him come out in the 7th. And that's the thing. It's like, if he gives up the leadoff single, okay, you can take him out. But that being said, I mean, if he gets the leadoff out, if he gets the
88 pitches, Kevin.
Yeah, if he gets the first out, then you let it roll. And if he pushes 100 pitches, then who cares? It's like it's funny because they try to save these innings for later in the year, but even later in the year, he still will pull them at 85 pitches.
He didn't even do that in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's like that's what he publicly says, is that early in the season he'll be a little bit more conservative and pull them early, because they want to be able to use those innings in the second half of the season. But we saw this the last 2 seasons, where even in the second half of the season, he's still doing the exact same thing. So I guess this is just his thing. And I wonder if that's
about George Kirby again.
And I wonder if this is coming from upstairs more than anything.
He had
Jerry.
Jerry was probably like, "Hey, pull him out."
Yeah, I wonder if these rules around starting pitchers are coming straight from the front office. But here's Gabe Spire.
Gabe Spire, the best bullpen pitcher in the Mariners right now, and possibly the best lefty relief pitcher in baseball.
Probably, definitely in the
15
division.
strikeouts and just 2 walks. That is insane numbers.
And now he gets the left fielder with the weird last name, and this is the situation where what you need more than anything is a strikeout.
Or I would say, or it's Jake Myers, but I would go with that pitch. I would go with that intentional walk because there's only one out, the pitch, and that is a strike.
Well, the thing is with the lefty on the mound and a righty, a ground ball to third base or a ground ball to short is going to keep the runner at third, right? So there's more than one way that you can skin a cat in this situation, but definitely it's like the first thing he's going to have to do is get the strikeout more than anything.
If Mariners lose, I will post another video. If Mariners win, I will not. I will just post as a short. It will be Scott Service made another critical error. And the last time I made that video, I got 700 views. So I think there's a market for Scott Service concerned fans.
Ooh, nice pitch. Yeah, no, because I mean, Scott Service is a very hot topic, hot button topic among Mariner fans, because I actually think that without a contract for next season, he's on his final year of his deal, and if the Mariners fail to get there, I have a feeling that
he'll be
either Scott and Jerry are gone, or it's Scott's going to be gone.
Well, no, I think. Well, here's my other prediction. If Mariners are in the division lead going into June, they're going to both get that extension again in the middle of the season, which I'm not for.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, this is a different situation, because the last time they got extended, it was after the 2021 mid 2021 season, somewhere around there. And then of course they had the playoff year in 2022, but after last year's catastrophe, I would probably think they're going to wait to see how this one plays out, because if the Mariners fail, there's no excuse for extending them after back-to-back failures.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a walk.
And then 3-2. Like I said, they were better off just doing the intentional walk just by that.
Well,
I really feel that.
RPG, thinks that because of the relationship with Jerry, he'll always be safe. But that being said, it's like, listen, man, winning matters. It's like you can develop a good minor league system all you want, but the reality is at the major league level, wins do matter, and sooner or later that has to be come into consideration. How much have you been winning? The
pitch. And the throw to third, and it gets away, and that's going to probably score in the run. He's going home, and Rayleigh doesn't even notice that. And now it's 3-2.
Yep. And of course, now the runners move up, and now the tying runs at third, the winning go-ahead runs now at second base, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what Raleigh was looking at.
It didn't even seem he thought he had a play at third. And you saw Rayleigh don't even make an attempt throw it home.
Yeah.
The pitch. And now here's a fly ball and foul.
Well, and Rayleigh wasn't even charging the ball. You know what I mean? That was the disconcerting thing in that play right there. As the ball gets away, you would expect Rayleigh to hustle to the ball. Because at least they could have.
And we're looking at the 1-1, the pitch. Now here's a fly ball. That is probably going to bring in a run. And Haniger makes the catch and a collision. And that's going to score in the run and make it 3-3.
Yeah, that was...
So about that George Kirby decision, Scott Service.
Well, the crazy thing is that you're supposed to acquiesce to the center fielder on that one. That's
like
the thing.
Miscommunication right there.
Yeah, exactly. They slam into each other. But see, the weird thing is Haniger's got the best arm, the best arm angle to third base, so that made sense. But that being said, it's like if Julio calls you off, he calls you off.
Very concerning on that. And now Jose Altuve. And here's the thing, I'm not even going to blame this on Gabe Spire one bit. He's not going to get any. I wouldn't even put earned runs charged to him. I mean, I think they were all on It's gonna be charged to Thornton anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be charged to Trent Thornton. So if you're looking for a scapegoat, it's going to be the fact that Thornton walked the leadoff hitter, and now of course you have the miscue there by Rayleigh that brings in a run. But that being said, it's like, oh, nice play. Oh, he's safe.
And here's a bunt and the throw to first, not in time, and that's going to score in a run.
And there it is.
And Houston takes the lead.
There's the go-ahead run.
All right, I'm going to make my thumbnail right now.
Well, that being said, though, that was an excellent bunt. That was a very excellent bunt. Good call right there. Houston now takes a 4-3 lead. So, here's the thing. You're going to have a lot of Scott Service apologists on social media who will say that it was the right thing, taking Kirby out. But I'm 100% with you. He was absolutely dealing at that point, and it's like you have no need to take him out just because he's at 88 pitches or 87 pitches, whatever.
Nobody saw pulling George Kirby as a bad idea.
But
I did.
But that being said, though, it's like, why go to Thornton in that situation? Why not just go with Spire to start the inning? That's the mind-boggling.
What bothers me the most was on Twitter they were trash talking with Houston fans, and I was actually the one being like, "Hey, stop!" And I was actually apologizing to Houston fans, like basically saying, "Yep, I'm surrounded by fools."
My thing is, he's safe. My thing is,
runner goes, he's safe.
If the consensus is that Spire is one of your best high leverage situations, then he starts the 7th because you're protecting a 2-run lead. You're not going to go with a dude like Trent Thornton, who is more of a 6-inning guy, more of a middle relief relief guy.
He's more of a mop-up guy.
That's exactly right. He's the type of guy that you're either going to play with, whether you're down 3 or you're up 3. But in a tight game like this, where obviously this can happen, the last thing you want to do is go with Thornton in that situation. You want to go with your best relievers to kick off the series with the win.
Yep. I didn't want to make another video because I didn't want to push off my Sonics video, but now I don't have a choice if the Mariners lose. And here is the 1-2 pitch, and that is low for a ball.
Well, the good news is the Mariners have 6 more outs to at least try to get one more run. And it is against a Houston bullpen that has 7 blown saves and given up 14 home runs. So,
but Mariners make the impossible possible.
Well, I'll say this about the Mariners is they're a good come from behind team. They have been able to dial up a run in the 9th inning to push it to extras, and they do have a track record of being able to come from behind, especially on the road. They did it in Toronto. They did it at home as well too. So this isn't over yet. But that being said, it's like
it's a momentum killer. The 3-2, and that is ball 4. Take your base, and now Spire is struggling.
And now here comes Pete Woodworth.
Can have a little chat with him.
Have a little chat.
Wonder if Pete Woodworth could be in the running for maybe he has an aspirations to be the manager if Scott Service isn't the last.
But that being said, there's George Kirby. There's a shot at George Kirby in the dugout, and he's pissed off. You can tell that he's very pissed off. He leaves with a 3-run lead. He doesn't even get an opportunity to pitch the 7th. I would be kind of heated too.
I wonder if he's eating his words. He's like, "Oh, I didn't want to play in the 7th inning, to be honest with you."
How about that?
Well, you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted, George. And now here's Jordan Alvarez, who could definitely put in damage.
Yeah, bighorns are susceptible to pneumonia. That's
you can't lose a game with George Kirby starts. That's what you call a wasted start. And Mariners Service did waste that start.
I would happen to agree with you. I would have brought him out. And again, like if he gives up a leadoff single, you can always go to your bullpen. But that being said, it's like if Kirby's rolling, let him roll.
Yeah, that's like the Blake Snell decision, which is why that's the warning I would have gave to Blake Snell if he went to Seattle was you'll get pulled by Scott Service really fast. Faster than what the Rays manager did to him. The 1-0. Now here's a fly ball right field foul.
And this is kind of a big at bat right here too, because if he gives up a base hit, and then it's a 2-run lead, and you certainly don't want to walk him either.
You don't. The pitch inside, ball 2, and I think Spire is done after this inning, obviously.
And this is the crazy thing: is yesterday was off, so it's not like this is an issue of your bullpen being taxed.
No, it's not.
And
here's 2-1, and that is a 3-1 count.
It's just a classic bullpen malfunction.
Yeah,
which
like
you
just
expect from Houston, not from Seattle.
And just because, the Mariners are pulling a Houston. Roles are being switched.
Oh, come on, Gabe.
3-1, and that is ball 4. Take your base, and this game continues to get frustrating.
And there comes Service right here. I think that's it for Spire. Back-to-back walks, and now with the bases loaded, who's it going to be? Are they going to bring out Stanek here to try to get the final out?
Well, you don't want Stanek with the bases loaded because he lacks control.
Yeah, but you're trying to get the final out of the inning. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Stanek. It would be interesting if they brought Andreas Ayala, try to get the final out here.
Andreas Mesa. Now I have friends chatting me like, fire Scott. And I'm like, dude, I said that in 2021 and your group canceled me.
Yeah, it's just people that, don't really watch baseball. Interesting turn of events in this inning. You come in with a 2-run lead, and then as of right now, if you get the final out, you're coming down 1. And again, this is Houston. This is a team that knows how to win. It's like I don't care.
Because they're 11-20 doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, just because they're you look at the record, they're 11-20, and you're like thinking, okay, you got them right where you want them. It's like, dude, this team is filled with stone cold killers in their lineup that know how to win. And you saw it right there when to get the go-ahead run, they lay down a sweet-ass bunt down the third base line. It's like, that's what winners do.
Man, I'm actually wanting to. Maybe I'm thinking about it, but I kind of want to watch Mariners Mojo on their live show and say, and they're going to probably come up with all those excuses like, oh yeah, it was the right decision to pull out George Kirby. Trent Thornton just didn't perform. It was like, ugh.
But that being said, I mean that this is the new age way of dealing with your pitching staff. It's not like the Mariners are the only team that does that. So it's just it's true, but it's now the thing. But
Service does it harder than anyone.
But more importantly though, it's Cody Bolton. More than anything is like, look at what the Astros did. The Astros do this with the home run? They didn't do it. It was like a death by 1,000
away.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
It was by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, and that's what good teams know how to do late in games, and it would be indicative of the Mariners to learn a few things from the Houston Astros. And Bolton, 2-0 now, can't throw a strike. It almost feels like Scott Service is, I hate to say it with the bases loaded, it seems like he's kind of punting right now with bringing Cody Bolton out of the bullpen. You'd think that you would bring in your best,
too much.
You would use your best relievers, and if that means Stanek with the bases loaded, so be it. You'd rather lose with your best than lose with your worst.
That loss from Atlanta is devastating because Texas won that game. So much for saying, oh, Mariners won the series. And
yeah,
here's
but that's
one.
Yeah, but that's the thought process of Scott Service. Well, we've won it. We have a day off. We might as well get a couple guys a day in and day off. You know what I mean? And use the off day, and that's the way that he thinks. We've already got the series, so
He's the same guy that would give participation trophies 2-2, and now it's a 3-2.
Yeah. So
and I still haven't thrown away my participation trophies. They're still in my room, and I still want to throw them away or take him to a range.
This is This is a big pitch right here. 3-2, bases loaded. You have to throw a strike, which means you have to throw a fastball. You try to want to get it into the hands, which he just did right there to Bregman, who when he fouled it off. You're gonna have to do that again.
And William Cook is using my emojis. I love it. The 3-2. And that is just outside for ball 4, and another run scores.
Ooh, that was a strike. He didn't get the call. That clipped the outside corner.
At this point, I don't really care. All I can say is hashtag pulled George Kirby too early.
Yeah. I would second that.
Pulled George Kirby too early.
Oh, are you already posting that to Twitter right now?
I've been posting it up a storm. Yeah. You know what was my favorite hashtag all throughout last year? Hashtag Robbie Ray versus Jordan. That's how I really pissed off Scott Service apologists. And then they just like, how dare you? Blocked.
How dare you? How dare you? Oh, I love it when you see the how dare yous, or
that means you won the argument.
Oh, I know for sure. 100%. How dare you? What are you, Greta? How dare you? Yeah, when I see that and somebody says that, I always say, "What's up, Greta?"
Careful.
No, I don't care. I just literally
1-1.
do not care.
It's a 2-1 count. My back's gonna worsen because of this.
I still think that the Mariners are very much in this ball game. They have to get the final out right here.
They do, or else this gets out of hand and out of control.
Yeah. A base hit,
swing and a miss, strike 2.
A base hit, and this game is over. 100% this game is over. But still, only down by 2. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they're going to be able to find an answer late and tie this game up and push into extras. But but that being said, it requires to get this final out, and I think they just got it right there.
And now we're looking at the 2-2 and strike 3 called, and that will retire this side.
Zafori's right. Yeah, Scott Service does have a fetish for pulling pitchers too early.
Really does.
Ooh, I was going to make a Scott Service and his wife joke, but I don't know.
And here's the thing, I'll say this, I'm all for pitching management because yes, they're pitching like spinning things. Yes, Tommy John's exploded, but Service takes it way too far. Like even Dusty Baker would be like, "No, George, you're still pitching."
What's your intention, right? Is your intention to win ball games? Yes or no? And if the answer is yes, then you're gonna want to win ball games, which means after the 6th inning, you go to your starter and you ask him, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And if he says good, then you pitch him in the 7th inning. Period. Point blank. If you see that he's fatigued and he's maybe taking deep breaths because he's been working, that's something different. But it didn't look like George Kirby was huffing and puffing in the dugout. It looked like he was fucking angry.
Well, now he was upset.
Yeah. But it's like, you talk to your pitcher, and if he's, if his arm feels good and, everything is right, then you let him go out there and you work the 7th. And again, it's one thing if he goes out there and gives up a leadoff, so you go, okay, fine. You can pull him at that point. But that being said, you at least let him go out there and start the inning. If he gets the first out of the inning, you just let him roll. And then you take him out after the 7th. And then you can go to your bullpen because you're going to have a lot of options to hold a 2-run lead. But that being said, Trent Thornton in that situation
is not ideal.
Not my first choice. I actually would have started with Gabe Spire, even though as it played out, Gabe didn't have his best stuff tonight. But again, you win with your best relievers. You don't throw. You don't throw Trenton or Bolton out there. But that being said, again, the Houston Astros
bullpen,
7 blown saves, 14 long balls.
Nah,
from that
bullpen. I'm pretending that statistic doesn't even exist. Honestly, Mariners offense will bring this bullpen back together, and it's going to be this game. And now here's Josh Rojas, and that is inside for a ball.
Now they got to do it against Ryan Presley, and so I'll say this: that it's a challenge, but that being said, it's not
swing and a miss, strike one. Yeah, but I would think that the confidence is now killed because of that. You saw Cal Raleigh wild throws, Mitch Haniger and Julio had that huge miscommunication.
Yep. I mean, these are the type of losses that you should have won, and it takes the wind out of your sails. But that being said, it's like you still gotta fight to the last out.
Like, the thing is, like, a game that I was perfectly okay losing for whatever reason was that Texas game, the second one, because everything was just off. And it felt sluggish anyway. The 1-2 to Rojas, and that is outside for a ball.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either, RPG, if this is the series that got the Astros right.
RPG is not wrong at all.
There it is.
Mr. Spoiler. And now here is the 2-2. And now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit through the diving Altuve. And now we got a man on first base. And with Julio, he has an opportunity to get this going because this offense really got to step up.
Credit to Josh Rojas because he had 2 bad swings in that at-bat, but he was able to square one up and get a base hit. And this is a big at-bat for Julio here.
I have an Astros fan that's basically that just messaged me saying, thank you. And I'm like, yep, my manager's a bleeping idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm with Reflect the Sun in the chat room as well, too. I think we both co-signed.
Whoa. They got he felt the umpire fell for that frame job.
Yep. And that's interesting. That's interesting considering that he's been calling that a ball all night, too.
He really has.
Julio's over
1. And that is fouled 0-2.
Looks like this is not a good situation for Julio to be in because now you're going to see the slider low and away, and I would probably expect that
Julio's going to chase that. He's 0 for 3, by the way, not looking good.
Yeah, 0 for 3. Although the last at bat when he hit that BB to shortstop, the exit velo was 102. He hit that. He stung that ball right at the shortstop though, and that's a Ooh, stop it. And now here is going to be the 0-2. Now here's a line drive base hit right field. Now we got 2 men on. Yep.
And that nearly got away from Pena.
Credit to Julio right there because again I called it slider low and away, and he was on it. He was on that pitch and just took what the pitcher was willing to give him, and he just drops it into right field there for a solid base hit. And now you got Polanco, who's already gotten deep once already. But in this situation, you would like to see the 3-run home run. But that being said, it's definitely not necessary.
Not necessary with 2 men on with no outs. Like, I'm almost on the fence of bunting.
Well, yes. But that being said, though, a well-placed shot into the gap scores 2, ties the game. A double would be opportune, but that being said, it's like I would also consider a bunt as well too. But that being said, you're taking the bat out of Polanco's hands.
He did hit a home run earlier. The pitch, and now here's a line foul,
just foul, and that's the reason probably why you don't bunt. And right now, against a guy like Ryan Presley, 2 base hits to lead off right here, and it's. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what do you look for in this situation? You're down 0-2,
and that was right up the middle. And that was a strike, and now we got an 0-2 count.
Like what do you look for down 0-2? Are you looking slider? Or are you looking fastball? Oh, there you go. Oh, huge.
And now we're looking at the 0-2. And that's a wild pitch that gets away, and that's going to move 2 runners.
Yep.
So basically didn't even have to bunt.
And now definitely a base hit ties this game. And this is
the game.
And this is the thing. You cannot end this inning without scoring a run. This is absolutely – this is, the Mariners are prone to coughing up solid opportunities. This is like, even if it's a sacrifice fly, you got to bring one in. You have to score here.
Especially with Rojas's feet.
Polanco.
Now here's the 1-2. And strike 3 called. Doesn't even make a swing at it.
Fastball at the bottom of the zone. And
that was his pitch right there.
That's his pitch. And he just does, the bat's just chilling on his shoulders. And this is
it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. And now you have Haniger. So
you do have Haniger.
And this is, I like looking at with 2 pitch on and 1. This is the guy you want up right now.
I think I'm okay with him trying to hit a home run, because you would think worst case scenario, you could bring in 1 run. But of course, the worst case is striking out if you're trying to go for that home run.
Right. But, in this situation, Mitch is going to be a guy who's not going to swing unless it's in the zone. Right. So I do agree with that 100%.
He is waiting for his pitch very patiently.
Yes,
it is a 2-0 count so far. And here is the pitch. And that was a nice little slider, and that's going to be a 2-1.
Yeah, that was a slider in that catches the top corner right there of the strike zone. That was a nasty little pitch. But now 2-1. There you go. Ball 3.
Oh,
so you're gonna
bet it. Yeah. Ball 3, and he tried the frame job and it failed.
Yeah, it failed, and so now 3-1. You're gonna get it here. There you go. That's deep enough. And
now we're looking at the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field. That should bring in the run. And is Rojas? He's not going to run. And it's a rundown. And this is the most Mariner way to end this, isn't it? And it gets away almost, and he gets tagged home. And he is out.
Josh, you just run. That's it. You just run.
Just the indecisiveness.
Right. So it's like that was, see, that's the thing. It's like, you heard me say that was deep enough. It was deep enough. And all he has to do is run. If there's a play at the plate, there's a play at the plate, but you run. You don't go halfway down the baseline and then get yourself caught in a rundown. You saw the look on Julio's face. Yeah, absolutely. You're in a situation where you have runners in scoring position with only 1 out, and you get the fly ball.
Just absolutely frustrating, to say the least. And I say that a lot. Yeah, but this all goes back to Scott Service pulling George Kirby, and I'm going to keep saying it obsessively until this becomes mainstream. Because when it becomes mainstream, I'm going to be the one that says, I'm going to be that D-bag that says, hey, I told you guys in 2021 he keeps doing this, but y'all canceled me.
But that being said, though, it's like, okay, fine. So that, the bottom of the 7th happened, and, the Mariners coughed up the lead. Okay, fine. But then you go to the top of the 8th and you get the first 2 runners on. And then that happens. And it's like, okay, cool. So now it's like, I don't know, man. This right here, I would probably say that after this, it just feels like it's a total team loss at this time.
It is a team loss. Like, this whole thing is lost. And look at all the people that we've got. And I swear, you guys, be as negative as you want. You guys have every right to be negative. I ain't canceling anyone on this. The only ones I'll cancel are the ones that just spam me a bunch of crap that I don't care about.
That's the thing. It's like the indecisiveness that's coming down the third base line. And it's like, dude, like, you just got to take off 100%. That's it. It's like, you're on third, you get the fly ball deep to right field. It's not ideal. You'd prefer it to be in center. But that being said, it's like all you have to do is run towards home, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like the indecisiveness that kills an inning, kills a rally, and now Tyson Miller's in now, so down 2.
Man, maybe I want to make like a John Boy type, like how Mariners really lost this game, and I'll go over everything verbatim. Who knows if I have the energy to do that? My back begs to differ. The pitch. Now here's a line drive, and that is a base hit. This is going to be extra bases. He's going to stay at first base.
Yeah.
But do I really care? Because I think the moment that pickoff happens, I think this game has been lost.
Yeah. And now of course, he's Scotty's signaling to everybody that this game is over. When you start,
which is not good. That's not good leadership. He just,
it's like an opportunity to get some guy.
Like honestly, I hate to say it, I think he threw the Arizona game too, and I said that too.
Yeah, he threw. I think he did too, and I think he threw the last game of the Atlanta series as well too. And now it's like you're down 2, and it's like, okay, cool. Now it's an opportunity to give some guys in the bullpen you wouldn't use in high leverage situations. And it's like, dude, are you trying to win, or what are you trying to do? What's
I guess a 0.5 game. Well, let's see how Texas is doing.
The crazy thing,
Texas is losing. That's what Scott did. He saw that score and went all loosey goosey about it.
The crazy thing is like, champion. He's right. RPG championship teams find a way to win. I'll take it another step further. Is championships don't have those mental errors on the base paths. You know what I mean? They don't double play their way out of a situation
it comes down
with one out.
It comes down to lack of discipline that this team has. Like it does lack discipline.
Yeah, for sure. Their entire approach to offense, babying your starting pitchers, when they give you 6 solid quality innings, and it's like,
and we're not even asking them to go 150 or pull like a 95 David Cone. We're just asking like up to 100 if you have the hot hand. If he doesn't, if he's sweating like you said, then fine, do what you got to do.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, if Kirby, if Kirby was feeling good and still, his arm is still feeling good, it's like, okay, great, send him out there for the 7th. But and then you can always have Thornton in the bullpen backing him up if he gives up a leadoff single or something like that. But that being said, it's like there's no excuse for this game to unfold the way that it did. And the
narrative is going to be, well, the umpire had he fell for some framing. That's what they're going to say. That's the narrative.
Well, I mean, that's just a loser mentality. Call it like it is, right? I mean, it was mental mistakes from your manager all the way down, from your manager to your third baseman. So let's just call it what it was. It was a bad loss.
I'm tweeting the Mariners lost this game the moment George Kirby was pulled. Like they do that. If Scott does this in the playoffs, you're losing that game for sure.
Well, we have to get to the playoffs first before that can happen. That is
true. But what bothers me is he's planning this season as if he made the playoffs from day one, which I find also not only idiotic, but I also find it arrogant and cocky.
But this is the first time I think this season. Well, maybe this has happened.
3-2. Strike 3 called and down he goes. 2 outs.
You have a lead and you cough it up and it unravels that quickly. Like this game unraveled so quickly.
It really did. And now if the Mariners lose, I had the thumbnail already ready. There's a picture of Scott Service. There's a background with a baseball. It says pulled Kirby too early. The pitch.
Yeah.
And that is outside for a ball.
I'll tell you what, man, the Mariners are going to Mariner.
Well, hell, maybe put in Tyson Miller in a situation. I trust him over Trent Thornton in a high leverage situation, even though Tyson Miller's not exactly your best.
I think, I mean, it's
swing and a miss.
If you consider Gabe Spire one of your best high leverage relievers, then he starts the 7th. because you already trust them against right-handed pitchers. Okay, fine. So you pitch them in the 7th. If that's the if you're trying to bridge the gap to the 9th, then it's going to go Spire, Stanek, Ayala. Bing bang boom. But he brings in Trent Thornton for some reason.
And now here's the 1-2. Now here's a ground ball, easy play, throw to second in time. And now we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Mariners, but it really shouldn't have been. And because of this, I got to go take a pee break because this game gave me a full bladder. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RooftopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you go to SeatGeek to get your $20 off your tickets using the promo code Rooftop Sports. Get off your wallet. Don't even think about it, man. Get your tickets. Get your tickets now. Take $20 off. It's a no-brainer. But yeah, now we go to the top of the 9th now, and of course it starts off with Cal Raleigh, who's I think he's won for his last 24, and then it's Ty France. And then, of course, Mitch Garver, not exactly the guys in your lineup that you would like to see in this type of situation, especially considering Raleigh has been struggling. And you're wondering what kind of Ty France is going to show up here in the 9th. So it's
not a good one.
And of course they're going to be going with their closer as well too. So not exactly in the most ideal situation. But that being said, do you know what bothers me is like when they lose in these macabre fashions.
They do. And
it's
the only loss that I was actually okay with was that Texas lost in the second game because it was one of those it just wasn't your game kind of things.
Yeah.
But this one was like most of those losses were like they had the win on their hand.
Well, yeah, you have a 2-run lead. I mean, you should win these games regardless. I mean, you have a rested bullpen, and he's going with he's going with guys. He went with Trent Thornton, who's usually a mop up guy in a tight game, and that's fine. So I mean, if you want to take out Kirby, fine. But that being said, use your best relievers in that situation. Or even if you wanted to go with Stanek in the 7th, go with Stanek. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that now, but now you find a way to unravel, and it's 5-3. Now you got Josh Hader, who is a phenomenal closer, and you're just wondering how is this going to play out?
Josh Hader, yeah, he's a 6.39 ERA, but I'm not even looking at those numbers. I'm looking at the fact that the Mariners' offense has been atrocious. The pitch to Cal. And Cal's on his weaker side of his bat, too. Yep. So that's not going to help either. And he's 0 for 3.
I mean, he's struggling.
0-1. And this has popped up, and that is
out of play.
Way out of play.
Now you're in an 0-2 hole, and And this is the other part of the equation. It's like, yeah, the Mariners have scored 3 runs, again, 2 home runs, and that's been the extent of your offense. You have to figure out ways to score more runs that don't include the long ball. And of course, the Mariners were not able to do it.
Well, I'm really excited to shoot this video.
And it's interesting considering that they in this last inning, I mean, you get runners on second and third with 1 out, and you find a way to
cough it up,
to come away with no runs. It's just unbelievable.
Like the Mariners literally lost. They are on the verge of losing it. Like Astros did not win it. The Mariners just lost it. 1-2. And that is fouled back. The positive thing about this at bat so far is Cal Raleigh is at least fighting it off, but it may not matter. And it's only 4 pitches in so far.
You know, and I'm tired. I'm tired of these. You know, I'm tired of the moral victory line of
thinking.
It's so weak.
Swing and a miss, or it's foul back.
Fouled back. It's like, let's just call it what it is.
All right, Mr. Sticky says, let's go Mariners. Everyone else put in the chat, let's go Mariners. Maybe some, quote, positive reinforcement will help the Mariners. All right, throw it in there, guys. Let's say, let's go Mariners. In all caps. Caps only.
Yeah, TK brings up a very interesting point, too.
I guess, yeah, I mean, I would think Hader is going to be... And those are interesting stats. Baseball is full of beautiful stats. I can't lie.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's the 1-2. Now here's a fly ball to nowhere.
Left field. The Mariners are world champions of moral victories. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't want Scott Service to be my father. He would totally cripple me up into pieces.
Well, he's the king of the participation trophy.
He is the participation trophy. And now we got Ty France up to bat.
He's just a soft, flabby.
Just laid back.
Yeah, he's just a soft, flabby individual, with bitch hands.
The pitch. And that is a ball. Ty France is also struggling. 0 for 3. And with this kind of a loss, this could actually put the Mariners in danger of actually losing the series, because who knows what's going to be next. The 1-0. Because this could be the game where Houston actually turns it around and they could be a force again.
Well, the thing about it is they're coming off 5 straight series wins, so they've been respectable, but they've been doing it with all pitching. It's like, somebody described it as smoke and mirrors, and I'm like, well, yeah, kinda. But that being said, it's like, you're in the driver's seat and you figure out a way to screw it up, and it's like, ugh. Yeah, I'll say this. That's a Mariners facts in the chat.
3-0. And that is a strike.
Service really is passive. That's a good way of describing him. And
the fact that he's had a job for 8 years is absolutely amazing. If he was like anywhere else, he'd been fired after like 2 years. The 3-1 fouled. And he swung at a ball.
I'll say this, that for a team that's rebuilding, for a young team, Scott Service is definitely the guy that you want in there with a young team. But this team has moved past rebuilding, and then now they're in a champion.
Ball 4, take your base, and I'm going to play this clip to jinx the Mariners even further.
Why do you like him?
Because he gets on base.
That's how I'm convinced it's over.
They're in a championship. They're in a championship window right now, and it's like you are going with one of the most passive managers in baseball, and it's like, dude, you want a winner. You want a guy in there that has a proven track record of winning and getting the most out of your players that are, that aren't going to accept excuses. That's the problem with Service. He gives way too many excuses for his players.
He really does. We're looking at the fact that he had to say that Julio needed a mental health break is kind of humiliating.
Right. I mean, that also goes to show you Julio. It's like, what do you mean you need a mental health day off? It's like, dude, and by the way, there were just a couple days. They were a couple days.
And here's a fly ball to left, fouled. It looked really good, but fouled.
Yeah. It's like,
and the thing is, like, those 2 wins against Atlanta, it did happen like literally at the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, I mean, the first game was the
home run by Garver, and that came out of his ass.
That was no offense for 8 innings, and it was just a one swing won him the game. But it's
1-2, and that is low for a ball. At least Garver has been working pitches a little bit better, but has not really produced much. Hader has 16 pitches.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're absolutely right. Where's the fire?
Hey, Christian, how's it going? Excited for Caleb Williams?
I'm all about Terry Francona. I would love to see Tito in Mariners uniform.
Yeah, I don't think John Stanton even knows who that is.
Yeah. He's, Tito's retired, but if they came after him and offered him like a 2
Joe Madden! Let's get Joe Madden! Joe Madden at least kept the Angels somewhat afloat until Artie
who
Moreno.
I'd like? Do you know who I'd like? Buck
Who would you like?
Showalter. Buck Showalter.
Is he still in the Mets, though?
I think so.
Nah, that won't happen. But I know I can see where you're coming from.
3-2. Dude, I love Buck.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and we got 2 outs. And next up to the bat is going to be... It is going to be Luke Raley. Or actually, Luis Urias is actually going to be pinch hitting. And I am not exactly understanding that. Like, Raley, I would...
Well, if you've noticed, he plays the matchups all the time. That's Service's thing. He plays the matchups, righty, lefty. That's just what he does.
I don't agree with it.
It is what it is. That's just his thing. He plays the matchups, and I guess the one thing that I like is the fact that Urias is a good fastball hitter, and so maybe that might play into this thing right here. You got one on, and if you can get a hold of a fastball and tie this thing up, but yeah.
Don't really see that happening. I hate saying it.
Well, Gantis, Lou wasn't fired for wanting to win. He got traded because he wanted to win. He got traded for Randy.
He was quietly fired. The trade was all a cover up.
Yeah.
And then they used that whole, Lou Piniella just wanted to be home with his dad cover up.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at the 1-0 for Luis Urias, the pitch. And that is fouled.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Mariners facts. You're absolutely right. For a team that dumps millions of dollars in their analytical department, Service really is very.
He ignores like half of it.
Yeah.
The pitch.
Yeah.
And that is strike 2, and this is game time.
Here it is.
Mariners are down to their final strike, and a lot of critical errors were made throughout this.
Yep.
At least after the 6th inning when Scott Service pulled George Kirby. Oh. That was the original sin. And now we're looking at the 1-2.
It's over.
And here is the pitch. And check swing, he did go, and that's going to end the ball game as the Mariners just completely blew this game. And before we explain it, let's take a quick 30-second break, as I will be making this into a video basically saying... Screw Scott Service, basically. And here we go. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code ROOFTOPSPORTS to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. So the Mariners, they actually had a lead. They had a 3-1 lead. And then what happened was George Kirby was absolutely dealing. He only had 3 strikeouts, but only allowed 4 hits, only 1 earned run. And he was absolutely on fire. Like, it's not like there was any fatigue being shown. And there's that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh! But then Scott Service pulled out George Kirby after just 6 innings, after just 88 pitches. And then Mariners bullpen completely blew it with Trent Thornton walking a guy. Gabe Spire was struggling. And then the rest was history. And then we also saw a lot of base running errors by the Mariners, which seems to be typical. And now, next thing you know, Astros come away with a victory. And this was one of those games where I can say a complete lost opportunity and just absolutely bad decision-making by our manager, Scott Service. And it all started when George Kirby, when he was pulled. And then you saw it on the camera that he was actually visibly frustrated when he was being pulled. And that's something to point out, which is ironic because last year he said that his limit was 6 innings. But then this game, this was the game where he was clearly not on the limit. Like, he was clearly dealing it. Like you saw Jordan struggling and other players.
Yeah. It's disappointing. You know, you're in a situation where you're up 3-1. Your offense hasn't really been doing much outside of the 2 home runs. So you know this is going to come down to which bullpen is going to be better. But you know, I don't understand the thought process, and it's okay, fine. So if you're going to pull Kirby against a team like the Astros, who know how to win these type of games, you know, you would like to think that you were going to see one of your best relievers out there in the 7th, just so you can bridge the gap. And if that is Spire, or even if it's Stanek, I wouldn't have mind seeing Stanek there in the 7th. Even if he does give up a run, still that's fine. You still got a 1-run lead, but you're going to be able to figure out a way to bridge the gap, or at least get it to a point in the Astros lineup where it's, you know, that's not going to do damage, so you can hand the ball off to Munoz in the 9th. But you know, the idea you're going to pull George Kirby for Trent Thornton in that situation, and of course what we saw Thornton, you know, he looked like he was trying to be a little too fine, couldn't locate the fastball. And of course the secondary pitches weren't getting the outside corner, which is probably what they were expecting, considering that, you know, the strike zones that we've seen from umpires this season, usually, you know, they're usually getting those calls on the outside corner of the plate with a good frame job. Thornton wasn't getting it. He walks the leadoff runner there in the 7th, and it just spirals out of control at that point in time. I would say that tonight's loss, you could put it down to mental mistakes. This game was all about mental mistakes. The Mariners made quite a bit. Cal Raleigh with the throw to the throw to third base that gets away, brings in a run. The collision in right field between Julio and Haniger, and then of course you have Josh Rojas making the biggest mental mistake of the night with a fly ball to right field that should have scored him easily, and instead it's a double play, and that was it. You know what I mean? And this was good baseball, at least until the 7th inning, and then, you know, for 2 innings there, it's just some of the worst mistakes that I've seen on the baseball diamond in quite a long time. So the Mariners beat themselves. This wasn't a Houston win. This was a Mariners loss.
Yeah, and that's one way I hope that the Astro fans understand. And I already have some friends from the Astro fan base. They're saying, yeah, thank you, Scott Service. Thank you for making such a critical decision. And want to touch further, because I know that there's that whole talk about Tommy John surgery has completely been on the rise. We all know that. We're aware of that. Injuries are a huge thing, and we totally get it. Like, managers should be managing their starters as the best they possibly can to get them rested for a prospective playoff run. But the thing is, like, and yes, like, we get it. The fastballs have a lot of spin, a lot of breaking stuff, a lot of unique pitches. Like, I didn't even know what a sweeper was until this season. That's how new baseball is now, with all these pitches, like all these unique pitches. But the thing is, George Kirby didn't even look tired. Like, there was just no reason to pull him. Like, sure, he was approaching 100. He was at 88, and knowing how he pitched, I don't even know if he would even hit 100 anyway. Maybe he would have. But the thing was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Scott Service, he does this whole bullpen management and pulling starters thing. He takes it way too far. Like he calls up George Kirby to the point where he pretty much made a mind for himself, where he's like, oh yeah, I'll just pitch to 6 innings. But this was the game where Kirby should have pitched at least one more inning. He should have went into the 7th inning. And like you said, putting in Trent Thornton exactly wasn't ideal, because he's more of a mop-up guy than someone that you put in high leverage. Like, in the high leverage, you would have put in like Gabe Spire first, or even Ryan Stanek. Sure. And here's the other thing. Ryan Stanek, he knows that offense. He knows the Astros. So the opportunity to put in Stanek was there, and the fact that the Mariners didn't even use him, it's just mind-boggling.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just, These are the most frustrating losses because the Mariners seem to do this a couple times a year. We saw this in 2023 early in that season, in games where you have a 2-run lead, and instead of going with your best high leverage relievers to bridge the gap to your ninth inning, you're bringing in shaky relievers to begin with that process. And I understand, like you mentioned. You talk about managers protecting starters, but that being said, it's like we're now in May, so this isn't like the first couple weeks of the season where you see 5-inning starts and you see them pulling pitchers with 75 pitches. They're through the rotation at least 5 times by now, so they're stretched out. You know what I mean? This is the month where it matters. I mean, you can chalk up to April with whatever you want, but the month of May is going to be the springboard to the second half of the season. And the thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to lose these type of games and lose momentum of what you build off of the last 5 series. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, runs are at a premium, understood. You have to protect. I don't know how you feel. It's like, I understand why he pulled Kirby at that point in time. Okay, that's fine. But in that situation, you want your best high leverage relievers to at least bridge the gap to the 9th inning. And that's the thing. It's like Trent Thornton is not a guy that you want to bring in that situation. Now, granted, it wasn't all on Thornton because Spire also had a rough outing tonight too. But that being said, it's like, okay, great. If it were me in that situation, I would probably bring Stanek out of the bullpen for the 7th, and at least get that to the 8th. Put Spire in a situation where he's against maybe the bottom third of that lineup, and then let Munoz deal with the heavy hitters in the 9th. But that being said, it's like, if you're going to lose, you're going to lose with your best relievers. You're not going to lose with your worst relievers. And to me, I guess if you're looking for a scapegoat, yeah, I probably would pin Scott Service on this one, because again, I would have had Kirby starting the 7th.
It's something that should have happened, and the thing is, if Kirby did blow the lead, it would have been like, okay, fine, like at least that it was still like the most correct decision to make. Then we can say, well, George Kirby just didn't perform at that point, but Service didn't even give Kirby the opportunity. And I will point it out. Like, I'm going to look for that clip where George Kirby's looking frustrated. And I'm going to point it out that, yeah, Kirby was not happy about getting pulled. Now, we've talked enough about this game, but I guess I want to say one more thing. Like, it's not like we're asking the Mariners or Scott Service to make these pitchers pitch 150. Like, we all know that's not going to happen again. Like, we don't see Nolan. We're not going to see like a Nolan Ryan type performance where we're going to see them pitching 200 pitches. Like, we just don't see that happening. But at least if someone's on fire, let him go to 100. At least 100. Like, 100 is not going to tear off his arm. It's not going to cause Tommy John. It won't happen for the most part. We would hope, knock on wood. But that will be my conclusion of this game. And let's take a look and see who is going to be next for the upcoming games. And sadly, this was a wasted Kirby start. And it's going to be for the next game. We've got Logan Gilbert against Valdez, and then Bryce Miller against Brown. And with no Justin Verlander, like, Mariners still have no excuses. Like, they have a chance to win the series. Like, it's not too late or anything, but having that first one would have been really nice.
The problem is now you have to deal with Framber Valdez. It's like tonight, like even though that Blanco, his numbers look good, you're dealing with a guy who was going to be giving you a lot of fastballs, and you're also going to be able to make him work, which the Mariners did. I thought the Mariners did a good job of making him work. By the time the 4th inning rolled around, he was already at 60 pitches. So they did what they were supposed to do. They just weren't taking advantage of the fastballs when they got him. That's number one. And having to rely on the home run ball to bail you out also played a factor in this game as well too, because it's a situation where you want to manufacture runs early. which require, I mean, in the first inning right there, I mean, Josh Rojas leads the game off with a single right there, and of course he gets stranded, and it's like the inability to do anything with runners on base, and then of course the big mistake right there in the 8th inning when you get the first 2 hitters on, and then the Mariners figure out a way to mistake their way into a double play. And now you got to go tomorrow. You got to go against a guy like Framber Valdez, who has a very good history with the Mariners. And he's a lefty who throws his sinker 43% of the time. Then he mixes in a changeup and a curveball. So you're going to get the off-speed pitches tomorrow. And your only hope is that he doesn't have good command of his sinker, and maybe he leaves a few up, and you might be able to square up a few pitches. But that being said, it's like it becomes even more of a bigger task now, going up against a guy like Framber Valdez, and you're coming off a loss that they should have had. This game should not have been a loss. And these are the things that turn series wins into series losses. And you're just hoping that the Mariners show up tomorrow. But right now it's a problem, because if you're of the opinion that these 5 series wins were smoke and mirrors carried by your pitching, that's going to be highlighted very much tomorrow. If this offense does not figure out a way to learn how to score runs outside of the long ball.
Yeah, and hopefully the Mariners will figure that out, because this series was set up most beautifully for the Mariners. Like, you don't have to have Hancock. Like, you have like 2 of your other good pitchers. You have Gilbert and Miller. Not even Castillo, who's streaky. Like, this was, I think, the perfect opportunity to get 2 out of 3 out of the Astros, but that's as much as we can say, and that's going to do it. And I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and thank you for hearing out our opinions on the mistake of Scott Service. And everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel, and also go to Steve Silver's channel as well. Go ahead and subscribe to him.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter at SwingingPod, which is in the description right there. And then, of course, on the Twitter page, you will see links to the YouTube page. Go ahead and you can check out the archives, and we do the show every Tuesday afternoon, and pretty soon we will be doing a Sunday special as well too. So a lot of Mariner content to go around. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Let's talk some baseball, man.
Let's talk some baseball, and now that is going to do it. We are going to take off, and my ETA of returning. So tomorrow I won't be there because hashtag don't quit your day job. The Astros game, also don't quit your day job situation. So my projected return, I am probably going to project that it's going to be Friday against Oakland. So it will be a while until I'm back. But until then, thank you very much for watching. And everyone else, have a good night, and go Mariners.
Go M's.